All right, everybody, welcome to the stream. We are back here checking out Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021, the final battle edition, and I am joined here today with Shin Robjira. Say hi.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello, Michael. Lovely to
Welcome
hear
to the
you
stream.
again.
Yeah. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Let's just kind of look through the chat really quick. We've got Night Hunter. Hello, what's up? Welcome.
Yo,
Hiya
yo.
fans in shambles right now.
You don't need to be joking.
I mean, it's not really a joke. Maybe not shambles. Maybe that's not the right word, right? But they're definitely. Me too. I had the evolved Godzilla that was on order, and I immediately canceled my order as soon as we saw the new announcement. So there's no need to have the first if the second one's a lot better, right?
Factual. Yes. The first one
Gooning.
will fade from
Yeah.
the public eye, and 10 years from now, it'll be a collector's item.
Oh my god,
Maybe.
yeah. Isn't that for sure? For true.
For truesies.
For true, yeah. So, but yeah, it's incredible how that has changed.
Yeah.
The box
Literally.
looks incredible. Yo, this box is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Shin Robjira, says Gojira.
Hello, Gojira. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Welcome to the stream, man.
Yes.
Ah, the Baba. The Baba is back.
Babadook.
Something like that. It could be that. I'm not sure. But yeah,
That'd be
welcome if
terrifying.
anybody's just joining the stream. We're going to be taking a look at 4 Mechagodzilla today. We're going to check out the variance between them. We're going to look at all the accessories. I know everybody wants to see the paint. We'll take a look at articulation. And then we'll do some comparisons at the end. We'll compare them with the original GVK cast. We'll even compare it with the original Mechagodzilla figure. And then if there's some time, if me and Rob aren't too tired, maybe we'll do a little Q&A after the end of all this.
Sounds good to me.
Aha, they did write Babadook. Duke as in D-U-K-E.
Like Duke Nukem. I miss that guy.
I haven't heard the Haya news. What happened? So, Rob, you want to share what happened with Haya? What's going on? It's not big news. It's not big
No,
news.
it's nothing you'd be surprised with. Their Godzilla Evolved figure from the Exquisite Basic series is finally starting to make its way out to people from China. And just yesterday, they announced the Heat Ray version, which looks a big percentile of a number better than what we just received. And, people are like, we waited all this time, we got it, and then literally like a day after people start getting it, you show us the better version. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're saying that they're going to be fixing the neck, they're retuning the tail, the dorsal fins are thicker and going to be translucent. They're apparently reworking proportions, so it might end up actually being 7 inches tall. Who knows? But yeah, that's the short of it.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like released in China, right? And it's been released for what, 2-3 weeks, or has it been about a month now since it's been in China?
Anywhere from 2 to 3.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, it hasn't even reached America yet. So North America, it's going to be like, what, 2 or 3 months before it usually gets here. So all the people that have had them pre-ordered here through Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or other retailers, they're probably doing what I'm doing, where they're just canceling their orders at this point and then just going to get the 2.0 figure of it. So that's what's going on with Haya right now.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Oh, LMAO. I was saying that because they've yet to release MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla, but yeah, that too. Yeah. Who knows what's going on with that Mechagodzilla? They first teased that, right, at the very beginning of everything, and then it's like, where did it go?
That was part of like the big, hey, we got the Godzilla MonsterVerse license, and we've gotten everything but I don't know, maybe Bandai releasing a Mechagodzilla has something to do with that. Maybe.
I'm starting I'm starting to think that Scar King is going to go the same way.
I hope not.
It looks fire. Yeah, it definitely looks fire, for sure.
And evil.
Also, where's our Doug figurine? Yo, just like, go 3D print that guy. I don't think anybody's really going to make it beyond Playmates.
Yeah, I think Playmates might have been the first and the last. I mean, Bandai didn't even do an HG of it. I'm surprised they did HGs at all.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really. They did it for GBK.
Can you show the figure? I'm excited. Hey, Gojiro, we're just going to get into it in a bit. We're just kind of waiting for people to join the stream right now, since I didn't make an announcement when this was going to be happening. So we're just going to kind of give it some time before we get into it. But I promise we'll do it soon.
Oh, yeah. This is the seasoning.
Yeah.
We're cooking.
We're just kind of, yeah, we're just kind of just letting people get a chance in here. And we're going to get started here in a couple minutes.
Oh, yes.
Welcome, welcome, Vacanic. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, just for anybody that's just joining us, I'll reiterate what we're doing again. We'll be taking a look at 4 Mechagodzilla figures. First, we're going to look at just one. We're going to unbox one, and then we'll just take a really quick look at it. Then we'll unbox all 4, and we're going to get straight into variance comparison between all 4 figures. And then we will go into articulation of a figure, and then we're going to go into comparisons with the original GBK cast, including the original Mechagodzilla figure. And then we'll stand by for some other comparisons or Q&A after that.
You need to compare
Should be
it to
about
every Mechagodzilla figure you own.
Oh my god, maybe. We'll see if we have time for that. That's a lot of Mechagodzilla right there. We'll, yeah, we'll see if we got time for that. That'd be dope, though.
It would be.
What is your favorite S.H.MonsterArts figure? Yeah, you know what? That changes, like, every day. Every day I mess with one, I'm like, you know what? This is a good one today. This is my favorite today. You know? Because there's so many. There's so many. There's definitely a lot of, like, really cool releases, right? But if I have to give you one that I'm currently saying, like, that's my favorite right now, it's the Biollante figure. I still love that thing. It's great. My number 2 would probably be Kiryu Heavy Arms, followed by the 1989 Godzilla Kyoku figure, the Triple K figure. Yo, Rob, Toku Society's here.
Oh, hi, Toku Society. Welcome, welcome. Join us.
Yeah, welcome.
As we mess around with this canned food demon.
All right.
Why isn't Twitter letting
Okay, it's 6:15. I think we've waited long enough. Let's go ahead and get into it. Rob is going to be here as a special guest, but he's also going to be monitoring the chat. So I will be, you know, hands deep into the figure, going around and messing around with that. So if there's any questions that kind of pop up, Rob's going to just kind of shout them out. And from there, we'll get a good look at everything.
Yes, indeedy.
All right.
Oh. That's why it wasn't letting me tag you.
Oh.
I was getting your Twitter at wrong.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, you know, I had a different handle for Twitter, that's why.
Yeah, I know that feel. Social media gonna social. Or something.
Exactly. Okay.
So
without further ado, guys, you're here for the figure. Let's give you the figure. Let's take a look at it.
Let's do it.
We're going to get to it, get through it. So let me just get on the other side here. Let me get on the other side. Let me get some water first. It's hot in here.
Yeah. If it sounds like I'm driving a car down the highway, it's because I have fans next to me.
Fans Palooza. Okay. Here we go.
He's not
We're getting started. Let me just lift this up a little bit. Okay.
Rubber glove.
So here, so here is our figure, Mechagodzilla 2021 Final Battle Edition. I'll give you guys a good close look at that. There it is. We have our front of the box. Look at that, the side of the box there. Ooh.
Even redder.
Very nice. And here's your back side right here with our various promo picks.
Ooh.
I know. And then here's our other side.
He's got a Hadouken.
And then here's our top of the box right here. And then the bottom. So without further ado, let's get into it. So with this box right here, I think it's actually pretty cool. I like these boxes that the web exclusives come with versus the standard editions, the general releases, because you know the windows are cool to see the figure inside, but I just think that these are much more decorative. And look at that, we got a manual that comes with this.
Printed instructions in
guys
2025?
I know, right? So let me get you a closer look right here. So this is the manual, front page only, and now we'll go to the other side. There's a lot more steps in this one because there's some unique features that were not here in the very first figure. So I'm going to keep this handy in case I need it. Here's the figure in its box, in its little blister pack.
Dear God.
It actually comes in 2 pieces. So there's a bottom piece right here that just kind of comes off. This is all the accessories. There's a lot of accessories to go through. We'll get through that in just a second. Let me just move this box over here. So let's open this up. What do you think, Rob? Let's open it up. Let's see what's inside.
God, I hope it's Mechagodzilla.
What a twist, right? If it wasn't.
Just kidding. It's S.H.MonsterArts Paragon.
Right. Yeah, wouldn't that be the twist? Oh, look at that. So I'm not posing it just yet. I'm just taking it out of the box. So let's take a close look just really quick out of the box.
Wow.
They always pose these so funny inside the box, you know? It's not posed in any dynamic thing. It's just all kind of streamlined, I guess.
He looks like he got cut in front of at the Krispy Kreme line. He's just like,
right?
damn.
I mean, look at those legs. They're so straight in the front too. It's like, what is this pose?
Oh darn!
But hey, if it stays in the packaging, hey, I mean, it stands on its own too. Inside the blister pack, there's actually 2 additional accessories in here that aren't in the regular accessory pack. It's the hands that they've got. But I don't know if these are going to be a focus for now when I get up here, but I'll take a moment to focus on all the accessories. But they're just the closed hands that you saw from the previous one. I'll put these here.
Oh yes.
So those just came in just this regular blister pack right here. Let me move this out of the way just a little bit. Let's take a look at the. I know, right? Let me just
scared the
position
crap out of me.
so that scared the crap out of me too. I was like, "What are you doing, falling?" I'm Jawcast heavy, bro.
Bombing.
Yeah. So let's look at the
bombing.
accessories really quick. Very clean. Very clean. Okay, so inside this box, we have the first accessory, which is the beam effect.
Ooh.
It is very translucent from the top to the middle, and then it's got some opaque paint on there, right there at the edge.
Nice.
So it's not see-through at the end. And it's also clear white where you put it inside the mouth right there. So there's that.
I dig.
We've got that effect part. It's pretty skinny. I mean, I like it though. It looks good. It's very in theme of the current legendary beam. We also have the punching effects right here, which it's very interesting on the inside. But here are those.
Don't make a blue balls joke. Too late.
It's very interesting on the inside because they have 4 slots that you can just kind of slide those fingers into. So I don't know how well this is going to grip when you put it on. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I dig the blue. There's a little bit of highlight of light blue on the edge parts right here. So that's kind of neat. It's even a little bit more translucent, transparent, I should say, towards the edges. These parts are a lot smaller, so you'll have to bear with me trying to get them out. These are the engine parts. They're attached to... You know what? Let me get my tweezers here. Because these parts are so small. So I don't know if this is going to be in focus, but we'll focus it later. But this is the jet engine part. Did it? Good. So yeah, this is the jet engine part. It's very, very small. And it's on a ball joint, which is great. So that means you'll be able to move it however you want. So
damn camera.
That's okay. I wouldn't expect it to. It's actually, I'm going to take these out with the tweezers because it's so much easier.
Yeah, instead of fuddling about with your fingers.
Yeah, there's approximately, we got 6 total engine parts. And they also come with, this is going to be a little harder to hold with the tweezers because it's a perfect cylinder. But we also have, let me just kind of move out of the way so you guys can see it on the black backdrop. But there's this effect part, which is the jet engine flame effect. Clear at the bottom, orangish yellow towards the top.
I like that.
There are also 6 of these. So let's just kind of get these all out.
Oh, they spared no expense for this guy, huh?
Yeah. I imagine trying to remove these with my fingers would be a lot more difficult. This is definitely making it a lot easier to take this out with these tweezers here. And then the last effect part right here is the one that we really wanted with the first release, and that is the drill tail tip right there.
Oh.
So, and it's on a peg. Let me just kind of move out of the way so you guys can see it on the black background there. But yeah, it's on a peg. So that means it can spin when you attach it. Very cool. So, and then of course it comes with a Tamashii base stand part. You guys know what this looks like already. It's got that in there. And of course it comes with the axe stand attachment as well. I have so many of these. When you have every single figure in the line, you just have a big chest full of these things because you don't have them on display at this point. There's so many effect parts. It's ridiculous, but I love it.
You gotta love it.
Okay, so that is our quick look at the figure and the effect parts that it comes with. We're gonna just get into showing off all of them now, the variants of the main figure. So let's go ahead and open up those other ones. While I'm putting this away, Rob, let's answer some questions.
Okay, does anybody have any questions, first off? And Derpy Christ 965 says, S.H.MonsterArts Mechagodzilla 2021 Manhandle Godzilla Edition.
Manhandle?
Manhandle.
I hope I wasn't manhandling it. Oh, that must have been when it fell.
No, he beat the absolute porridge out of Godzilla in the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Lane Vix, hope I'm saying that right. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Hope to get to meet you at Comic-Con.
Hey, hopefully you'll be able to meet me there as well. I will be there from the 23rd through the 27th, so hopefully we'll be able to run into some people. I will be wearing designated shirts like this, so you can't miss me. It also has my, I'll turn around really quick, it also has my logo on the back and everything, so if you see me from behind, yeah, just give me a friendly hello. Don't do like the whole like tap on the shoulder like, ha, spook me.
I found you, Ben. Oh.
Where are you?
Okay, Crazy Redemu? I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Just got here. How are the hip pistons? We actually haven't gotten
We'll get into it. Yeah, right now we're just opening up the box. We're getting all 4 of these guys out for you guys. All right, here's number 2.
Okay.
I know everybody's watching. Will parts fall off? Will they stay on? It's good. We're good. Although I might need to move the feet a little bit so that it doesn't fall over like that first one did.
Lane Vix asks, asks, does the tail feel less fragile than the first release?
It actually feels less stiff. It feels a lot looser than the first one. So that could be a good thing, though, because I think that kind of contributed to the tail snapping on some people, was that it was just so stiff. And these joints, they don't use, it's weird. In the tail, it's not ball joints. It's like a weird, I looked at like this Gundam model kit, and I was just like, these joints very much look similar to this. So I think that it's improved just based off of the brief moment of handling it, but we'll see when I get into it.
Oh, Red Emu, the bird. I'm sorry, crazy Red Emu. I should have... I was looking right at it, and it didn't... Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, Red Emu. Lane Vix comes back and says, if I see you, I'll be sure to list all of my Bandai complaints to you personally.
Oh, no! Spare me! Spare me!
Oh, that's funny.
It'd be so dope, though. It would be so funny if I'm talking to Bandai right there, and then they start complaining or making comments and suggestions to me, and they're like, "Why are they talking to you?"
Isn't that the?
It's like, oh, you don't know? Decade? You don't know? Did you read my shirt?
Oh God. Evolved okay. King.
So there's our
pistons less prone to being fragile to the point of breakage.
We will see.
We shall see. We have not messed about with the toy just yet.
Yeah, right now we're just focusing, for anybody that's just joining us right now, we're just focusing on trying to get all 4 of these out. So that's why we're just kind of answering some questions about, maybe not so much the figure itself, since I haven't really explored it, but if you have any other questions about, Comic-Con, any of the ones that were just recently announced, we could talk about those too.
Yes. Crazy Red Emu. The shirt is clearly a ruse to throw us off.
Oh, you got me. You got me.
Mr. Monster Arts, when will you make Godzilla 1998 from Lane Vix?
Oh my god. Oh.
Okay. Gojira is goated. Godzilla and Gigan both Showa versus Godzilla Evolved and Kong with Beast Glove. Who wins?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one right there. I mean, I feel like if Godzilla's involved in any battle, Godzilla's always going to win, right? Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the rule?
Maybe.
All right, here's our third one. Let me just get the feet down. Oh, there's so much in this. There's so many accessories.
Getting a lot of accessories sounds nice until you have to unbox 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially when they're smaller parts like this. So, like, if they were bigger, I could get through this a lot quicker, but I'm having to use, like, tweezers to do this efficiently to get them out.
Lane Vix once again. Will the new Ghidorah and poster editions be on display at Comic-Con? And do you think it's possible for any new Monster Arts reveals to debut at the con?
I'll answer the first question, and that is yes, they will be on display. The poster art, the poster versions, as well as King Ghidorah 72, will also be on display. As far as anything new, you'll have to wait and see.
Ooh. Oh, hi, Noah.
You'll have to wait and see.
Can't wait for that Awakening shit either, because I need to get it.
Yeah, the color on that is... It's exactly what I had hoped for. When Night Combat came out, that was like, they just need to redo Awakening with this translucent plastic and color scheme. Because that thing is going to pop.
That thing's going to look beautiful. I'm going to buy 2 small, oh, maybe not small, maybe I'll buy 1 big medium LED desk lamp, and I'm just going to put it behind him on the shelf so he glows 24/7.
Oh, there you go.
And hopefully he won't melt.
A really quick hack I saw somebody do just to get the glowing effect is that you can get those little fairy lights. You guys know what I'm talking about? The little fairy lights that you can get. I think they're like at TJ Home Goods or something like that. You can even get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're just little fairy lights, though, and you can just wrap them around your figure. and they work as a good way to illuminate parts. And you can get creative with how you strand them, like in between the dorsals and whatnot.
I am going on Amazon
But if you don't
right
want to
now,
like
and I'm going
permanently,
to order a
yeah,
spool.
yeah, just look for some fairy lights. Although I would suggest getting white lights, not the same color, because then you're just going to oversaturate the purple. They're already purple already as it is. Okay, we got our last one that we're going to take out of the box right now. Oh, that's not the knife.
100 Kongs versus 1 Mechagodzilla, both from the Monsterverse. The Kongs.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that many, you know.
It's a lot of Kong.
Numbers.
There's strength in numbers.
Unless that plasma cannon is so deadly, like it just cuts through all of them in one sweep, right? I don't think Kong ever got hit with it, did he?
He was too nice like that. No, he might have. He might have. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Too much going on.
Okay, here is our fourth one.
Oh boy.
And there we go, guys. There's all 4 of our Mechagodzillas out on display. They look gorgeous.
Cranberry tin can.
We're just going to get out these last accessories right here, and then we'll go into variance comparison.
Okay. I know we already got this one, but Noah would like to know, does Tass have a personal favorite MonsterArts figure?
Yeah, so it changes every day. Because
Every
depending
day.
on which one I'm messing with, that can be my favorite. But I think the 3 that I gravitate towards the most are the Biollante figure, the Heavy Arms Kiryu figure, and the 1989 Godzilla, the Kyoku, the Triple K Godzilla. Those are my top 3.
Mine's still Godzilla Earth.
Hey, that's a good figure though. It's not a bad figure.
No, I love that guy. Atomic Mechagoji would like to know, is it normal if my Heisei King Ghidorah's lower jaw falls off?
I remember back in the day that it did happen for certain people. I would suggest getting a solution called Kiki Fix Loose Joints. It's actually in the description of this video. There's a link to it. And that will cure any issues of loose joints. So if you guys don't know, just check the description of the video and you guys can click on that link right there. It's an eBay link. It takes you to the owner who creates this stuff. He's based in Thailand. But you got to get it. It's a wonderful thing to have. And it's not just for MonsterArts. It's just for any figure that you ever own that just gets loose joints over time. It just helps.
Yeah, I nabbed me a bottle, and I'm going to use it on my Anguirus with his left leg because it's a bit loose. But I've seen...
Yes, that's a good figure to use on because they were all like that.
There was an... question for Rob. Will you, pointing, yes, you, pointing, be at Comic-Con? Unfortunately, I will not be at SDCC this year. Just budgetary constraints, life, bills, the whole 9 yards. But if everything works out, I would love to be there next year to meet the homies and get Cinnabon and everything.
Yeah, me and Kaiju Canuck will be there as well as Mike Monsters. We will all 3 be there.
Yes, the 3 Musketeers will be there. So you gotta find them, track them down, tell them you love them, and then yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Real quick, everybody. I'm going to get on the other side of the camera. We have all 4 of them out. I'm going to reposition them a little bit. We'll take one more question, and then we're going to get into variance comparison.
Okay, so the next question that was right up next, do you, Rob, and Tass have a favorite Godzilla figure in general, not brand specific, just any figure from that of Godzilla, Gamera, or Ultraman?
So they were saying not Godzilla?
They were saying Godzilla, but they added Gamera and Ultraman. It's just not brand specific, like not just SHMA or, just like in general.
Sure, I get you. Yeah, so like I feel like my favorite monster is the 1975 Mechagodzilla. That is my favorite one. That's the first movie I ever saw, and that's just something that I've always ran with when it comes to my favorite.
And for myself, I'm kind of at a crossroads here because I have too many friggin' Shin Godzillas. So, I guess it's a toss up between the movie monster series Ebirah and the Trendmasters prototype Godzilla 1998 that looks like a bottle of Pepto Bismol
There
because he's pink.
you go.
And I love pink. Hello, Robo
Because he be
Lizard.
pink. Robo
Oh,
Lizard,
you do.
welcome, man. Okay, so we've got. Let me just fix this one's legs a little bit, just get them kind of more uniform.
Ooh, number 3 looking very angry. 3 and 4. Look at those shoulders.
Yeah.
Bro's ready. It's on site.
Yep. I'm going to have to look for my Liberty oil because these joints, for the brief amount of posing that I'm doing right now, they are stiff. They are really stiff. And the reason why I'm saying Liberty oil is because these are die-cast joints. They are not plastic joints. Let me see if they're, you know what, let me check behind my workstation right here because I think that's where I have that oil.
Huh.
I do believe it's back here. I think it's back here. If not, I'm going to have to do it later.
I sense that one of these Mechagodzillas has scoliosis.
Yeah. It might, yeah. You know what? I don't have time to look for it right now. I'll have to look for it later. But Liberty oil is what you're going to want to use for this out of the gate to get those die-cast joints loose.
Noted. I'm going to have to get me a bottle of that.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look for it later. Okay. So let's take a good look at these guys, yeah? Let's get a little bit closer.
Ooh. Good God. Where do you even look first?
I know, right? There's so much to look
so
at.
Much. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to just kind of, let's pan through all of them.
Wow.
Beautiful.
He's got scoliosis.
Zoom in on that right there. So yeah, this is all 4 of them on display here.
Hello, Mr. T-Rex. Welcome. Get him to a chiropractor. Whew.
Man, I like the red on it.
Yeah. Very deep, very obvious, very nice.
Let's take a look a little bit further down on those legs right there. Legs for days, right?
Legs for days and apparently toes as well. Good God. Wow.
All right, we're going to take a side profile view of these guys.
A lot of weight on that table. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So here's your side view of these guys.
Silver and red. Silver and red. Lane Vic says maybe
really
next
great.
year. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Lane Vic says maybe next year at G-Fest or Comic-Con we can get all of you guys together and do a Figure Mania end of the month stream for an IRL crowd. Oh. Stage fright.
I mean, it could be. Yeah, I know, right? That's a lot, right? G-Fest and everything, but also logistics too, because Harold's all the way in Taiwan and Kyle's also in Canada, so.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. I
I'd
think
love to do it.
just because of cost and expenses, I think we'd rather do it at Comic-Con because it's just a bigger event.
Plus Cinnabon.
But maybe. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, Cinnabon is a must, absolute must. Let's take a look at the back of the figure.
Let's do it. They look a million times better than the OG SHMA Monsterverse Mechagodzilla. The red really does help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's your back side of them right here.
Wowzers.
Here's your tail.
Oh, the little dorsal nubs are painted red on his tail. At least that's what it looked like on the tip. Am I going insane?
You talking about the top parts right here? They are painted.
Oh. Fire.
Yeah, they're painted. I think they were painted on the other one too. It's just that they're a brighter red on this figure.
Oh, okay.
The other one, the original release, the paint was a lot. I mean, it was red, but it wasn't as bright as this.
Wow.
All right. So to do this next part, when we're doing variance comparisons, instead of keeping them, all four of them out at the same time, what we're going to do is just kind of look at them one at a time. We'll bring them into frame and whatnot. So we'll just, I got a method of doing this. So I'm going to kind of keep 4, 3 over here, and we'll keep 2 and 1 over here.
A method to the madness.
This way. Yeah. So for this section, guys, we are not going to go over the articulation. We are going to go over just the visual aspect of that. So we're looking at how it's painted and everything, and we're going to look at how that paint reflects across all of these figures. So starting with the head of figure number 1. I'm going to take off my lens hood here because that casts shadows.
Whoa. He got a
and then let me
bit
get
brighter.
Let me get my chat up. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm actually going to increase the brightness too, just in general.
Holy moly.
Oh, you know what? I can't turn that one up because that's the shutter, so we'll just turn up the light instead. We don't want to mess with that shutter.
Okay. Good movie.
I can see this stream. All right, I can see the chat now, so from where I'm sitting. So I'll be able to kind of look at this. Wow, you guys are going nuts with this. Look at that. I love the engagement. Thank you. Looks like we have 16 viewers, so awesome. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. This is our variance comparison of figure number 1. You know, I'm not seeing, it's kind of interesting. When you look at this figure, you don't really see a lot of weathering detail off the bat, but there is definitely weather detail in it, especially around here, around the shoulder area. Parts of the jaw has a little bit of weathering. Parts of the jaw, it's very minimal. It's like right here on the edges, but it's there. Let me just turn down our brightness. The thing about this figure is it's so reflective, so I'm having to shoot it at a lot lower f-stop, or not f-stop, but ISO. Otherwise, we're going to not see all those details. But yeah, look at the red on that. Oh,
it's like Twizzlers.
And then as far as the tail goes, let me just kind of straighten this out a little bit. There's our tail. Yeah, we're going to make this even darker.
Wow. That is a lot of detail.
And then if you didn't know, this figure actually uses the CGI model that was used in the movie. It's the final CGI model as well. So it's not an unfinished one and then they had to go in and just kind of fix things. It's the real deal. I love the attention to, I mean, look at all the various engine parts, the sculpt.
It looks like a
that.
gunpla to a certain extent. Like a whole model kit. But thank God you didn't need to build it.
Look, they even have a wheel. They have a wheel right there too. And then this piece that you see right here, this is a die-cast joint that you see right there.
Wow.
There's not really too much shading on the exterior part of it right here. It's definitely a darker silver, though. It's definitely darker. Like if I were to angle this a little bit, you can see that it's a lot darker. Very reflective, very dark.
Those look like the little spirits from Spirited Away.
There's the hand, the arm.
Wow.
Let's take a look at the chest.
Among Us.
Chest is painted. All that red detail right there. Even on the legs towards the bottom, it's got some red as well. Yeah. It's only on the front part, though. It's not anywhere else on the leg. Just only on the ankle parts right there, it's red. So, and that's the other side of it right here. There's a red line on the arms right there, on the edges. Even on the inner parts of the arms, it's even red. Let me just move that up. Yeah, so you can see it's red right there, too.
Jeez.
Yeah, look at that. That's just gorgeous right there. It's not. It's kind of interesting because the red's not like a very glowy red on it. It's definitely red, but it's like a metallic red more than it is a glowy kind of red. It doesn't look like there's been other changes to the dorsals when it comes to that red paint other than just the brightness being, applied to it. And then there's also no paint in between the segments. I don't know if it was like that in the movie, though. Do you guys remember if it was painted in between the segments or if it was red in the segments?
I'm sure somebody will answer before me, but I'll Google
it. Yeah. I don't really recall. Anyways, okay. So let's kind of compare how they all look one by one, right? So we've got this guy right here. This is his head. Let's look inside the mouth. Mouth opens very wide, too. I'm going to turn this on full blast so you guys can see on the inside. So it's got red on the inside. Look at all the detail on the inside of that mouth, too. You got all those razors. I think they're like saws, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sharp.
So, but yeah, this is the head of the first one right here. Really great looking eyes. Let's look at the second one.
It looks like the tail, all the inner segments were red, and it looks like it followed through all the way through the back to the neck.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here's our figure number 2. We're just looking at the head for this right here.
Are you sure that's figure number 2? He looks just like figure number 1.
I know, right? I'm not seeing too much of a difference, honestly, but with the mouth open and everything. Let's look at the inner mouth. pretty much looks the same.
Yeah, I'm not seeing deviations or anything.
Yeah, it largely looks the same. Let's look at number 3.
Hmm.
Eyes look good.
Yeah.
Just one solid color. You can't mess that up, right?
Mm,
At least it's
I would.
applied correctly. It looks like it's applied correctly.
Yeah. I mean, I'd hope
Let's
not.
open up the mouth here. I think you'll be able to see a better idea of the variance when I do the comparison with still photography, because you'll see
Mm,
all 4 of them next to each other. So we'll get a better idea of the more subtle differences, but there's no major differences. It seems pretty consistent. The inner mouth is just painted just a solid red on there
mm.
around the ring. The
The
paint is still all in
pepperoni.
the same spots.
Mm. Yeah.
Let's look at number 4. Here's number 4.
Hmm.
I mean, it's very precise with the red. I'm actually really impressed. It doesn't look like they did any slop or that it was, misaligned when they applied this red paint. Just turn this down. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty solid. Let's open up the mouth.
Agreed.
The mouth on this, I think, opens way more than the original too, just based off of. Yeah, it definitely opens up a lot more, I think.
Gotta get that Hawaiian Punch belch effect up in there.
Yeah. So, but that's the head. Let's go back to number 1. Let's look at the chest area for them.
Mm.
So here's our chest. Let me just kind of angle it so it's looking up a little bit higher. What's interesting is that there's really not so much movement in the hip area when it comes to moving it. It's the
Mm.
feet and the ankles. That's where you're going to get that bend. All right, so here's our chest area. Looks great. I mean, I got no qualms about this, man. This looks good.
Yeah, it does. I didn't even realize
I
there
think,
was red paint
yeah.
on the portion of the arm that moves in and out of the chest.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I was reading some comments that some folks were saying it's not as dark as the original promo, but I think lighting had to do with a lot of that. When you
Yeah.
take out a lot of the reflection, you can see a lot more detail within the paint job itself. Right now, we're seeing a lot of reflection in our recording right now, so it's kind of hard to see those differences. I think when we bring out the original, though, I think it will be darker still. So that's number 1. Let's look at number 2's chest. Oh boy, they're stiff.
Someone
So here's
called
the
Diddy.
chest. Oh god. I mean, it looks good. The paint's aligned where it's supposed to be, even under the neck right there. Look at that. It's really red under there.
Yeah, it almost looks like a separate piece, which is crazy. Like they had to
I think it
tab the
is. I think
gray
it's
into the red.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah,
one piece though. They
that's
were
nuts.
just somehow very precise. There's even some red. It's very subtle, but there is even red right in between these parts right here.
Oh my god.
It's super hard to see, but there's definitely red paint in between those parts. I can appreciate that. All right,
Paintbrush
let's look
magic.
at. I don't even know if it's paintbrush at this point. I mean, how did they do it? Is it dyed, you think?
Dyed would be interesting.
because I don't see any brush strokes. I think it's dyed. It's got to be dyed somehow or dipped. Or what if they were decals?
Yo.
Decals that were melted onto the frame. I could see that.
Oh.
Because it's just so clean.
Yeah, it's ridiculously clean.
There's no brush strokes on it. Because I feel like when we see other things that are painted in, you can still see kind of like a brush stroke, reminiscence of a brush stroke, right? But this is it's just on the metal. So I'm wondering if it is a painted decal that's been applied.
I don't have any idea.
Like, just look at that. You don't see brush strokes.
No, it's clean.
And it's very precise too.
If I didn't know I was talking about, I would say that that's just how the mold was made, with the red already on there, because it just looks that good.
What if that was it? What if that was? I don't know. I mean, but they're not separated either. I mean, some parts look like they're separated. Like these parts look like they may have been put on, like on the arms right here. They look like they were added on afterwards. But it's also not dyed on the top. It's not dyed red on the top. It's just that one. It's just that one section. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I'd like to pick their brains about that when I see them. It's just like how that process went. But when we ask questions about manufacturing, about specific parts, usually the folks that we talk to don't know the answers to that.
Oh, man.
It's more of just like, oh, this is just how it was instructed and how they did it, how they pulled it off. All right, here is number 4.
What is your black magic? How did you
number
do
4's
it?
got some funky things go. Number 4's got some funky head placement. Hold on a second. Let me fix
He
that.
needs a realignment.
Yeah. So let me open up that mouth really quick. Yo, that mouth opens up so nicely.
That's scary.
You know, it's so funny. The mouth has gone through 2 different evolutions since the first one. The first one didn't even have this centerpiece in the middle, right? The cannon, the plasma cannon, didn't even have that in there. Then the event exclusive Kong that came with this head that was just on the spinal part. It couldn't open up the mouth or shut the mouth, but it had this piece in there, and now it's fully articulated now with this piece on there. And since it's the head, if you did own the first one, say you just are a fan of the first one because it's so clean, you can pop this head off and put it on the other one. It just might look a little darker though, because it is a darker silver. But if you really wanted to try that out, you could. I would say that the event exclusive head, you can still pop that on. It just won't move. That's the only problem with that. So here's the chest of this guy right here. Oh, man. It's just so clean.
How did they do it?
It just has that gunmetal, but not as dark as gunmetal can be, you know? But it's definitely there.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was number 4. Let's look at the arms now.
Biceps.
Okay, let me just turn this down. So here's, we've got the shoulder part right here. There's not too much paint on that. You know what, I'm gonna get the reflector out. I'm gonna bounce some light from the ground so that it's not so dark on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
If anybody does toy photography, this thing is amazing. This little tool right here, you can get on Amazon. It's like $10 or something like that. When I bought it, it might be a little bit more now, but it's just a little thing. It has 2 sides on it. You've got gold and you got silver on the back side of it. And all you do is you just stick it on the table like this, so you can see the difference. It lights up, bounces that light that's hitting the ground, and it just lights up the bottom of the figure right there. So that's what we'll do. And now we can have a better view of that. So, okay. So here's the arm. Inner workings, you've got your die cast joint right there at the top, the shoulder part right there. And these, unfortunately, the hands are not articulated right here. Even though they have the makings of articulation, you have to swap them out, unfortunately. So they don't open and close. Oh, wait. I take that back. They do, a little bit. Give me a second. I just popped that one off by accident. It's the fingers that aren't articulated.
Articulating those things would have probably been a nightmare.
Yeah, let me do this off camera really quick. I popped it out by accident. I wasn't trying to, but I did.
It's all good. We've all done it once or twice. Or thrice.
Okay, correction. Yes, they are not. You can't close the palm. I had to take a closer look at it. Yes, the palm cannot close. So, but yeah. So there's the palm. The inner side. Let's look at the other hand. I dig the red on the inner part. This thing is insanely detailed. I'm honestly really surprised that this only increased $10 when it was released in the United States compared to the first version of it. Especially with all the effects that it came with. Maybe the first one was just overpriced. Because that was $150 when it came over, and people were like, "Whoa, dude, why?"
Diecast. It's a lost art.
Yeah, I mean, maybe diecast. The cost of diecast has gone down since then too. Who knows?
Could very well be.
Here's our second one with the arms. These parts don't open up, by the way. They're just for show.
Jeez.
Arm paint looks good on that side. I mean, it's the same. There's really not much when it comes to that variance, you know? It's just... There's not too much different there. I do appreciate that these parts are a darker silver, though. Adds a little bit of extra. They are a little bit darker. Let's take a look at number 3.
Wow. That's a lot of fish.
Yeah, it sure is.
Swedish fish. Aha!
Aha! Can't get enough of that Swedish fish.
Ugh. I love Swedish fish. My teeth don't.
All right, and then let's look at the number 4. Let me just angle this down right there. Yeah. I mean, the paint is spot on. There's hardly any variance with these. Which is great. That's what we want. When we get these releases, we don't want there to be variance. We want it to be as close as pretty much the same as possible. Like, some variance is definitely expected, but seeing that it's consistent between all 4 of these so far, it's been great. This is what we want.
Yes.
Granted, this paint scheme is a lot more simpler than, like, more of the organic Godzillas, right?
Plus, Bandai does love their robots.
They do. Okay. We're going to take a look at the feet now.
Oh, boy. Everybody in chat, relax.
I'm going to move the reflector out of the way, too.
Gummy worms are better. I do agree. Gummy worms are better.
We'll bring these out a little bit more.
Are those toes, are they articulated, or are they just like everything else?
It's one piece. They're not articulated, but there's an ankle rocker on there, so they can go side to side.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I'll start from the top. Let's look at the pistons. I know everybody's curious about the pistons, right? From what I can tell, you know, they still move the same way, right? The tubes on the original release right here, these were die-cast parts. I think these were die-cast parts too as well, but the part where it connected right here on the original, was not die cast, it was plastic, and that's why it was breaking. It looks like it has been updated to die cast.
Ooh.
Because I don't see any change in coloration. Usually you can see that. On the original you could see it. But this looks like they've completely changed it and updated it. So, and it moves very nicely.
Lane Vix was saying that they heard that the pistons were fixed from the first release, so seems like it's kind of just all checking out.
Yeah, I'm moving it around in there. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, here's the thing too. Most of the breakages with the pistons weren't actually out of the box. It was before you opened up the box. And that was because of shipping logistics, right? Because there was hardly any reports out of Japan about the pistons breaking, like, ever. I mean, even with the tail, there was barely any reports of that in Japan. I think that's just a U.S. thing, a U.S. consumer thing. Maybe people did break it in Japan, they just didn't report it. I don't know. But it definitely looks to be improved right here. We'll take a closer look of that with the original too, just to kind of see those differences. But the legs, I mean, they look great. Look at that.
Long, powerful, red.
Not too much weathering detail, though. Maybe it could have used a little bit more weathering, but yeah, it's kind of like that throughout the whole thing, that darker silver color. So, okay. Let's look at the feet really quick. Feet
Those
look
are
good
feet.
too. Right. Them's are feet. All right, let's look at number 2. Again, with the hip area right here. They move, they just glide. When you're pushing these apart, they just glide. Now, with the original, when it came to articulation, you did have the option, and I think you can still do it with this one right here. You can actually take out the pistons if you stretch these legs far enough. And it'll actually give the figure more range and movement because this ties it down. There's only a certain amount of movement. Like when it comes to like swivel, like that's kind of it. When it comes to up and down movement, you're not going to get more than that. So, but we'll explore more of that in a bit. Let's continue looking at the legs.
Evolved King is asking, is Mechagodzilla the only figure that used the complete CGI model?
Yes. And Evolved Godzilla.
Okay.
Evolved Godzilla used the final CGI model too. But the difference is that this one was basically printed and then they just kind of worked on the articulation. Evolved Godzilla still had Yuji Sakai get in there and just kind of clean things up a little bit after they did the 3D print. So there were some adjustments made to it after the fact. But this one is 100% directly one-to-one with the CGI model.
I can't imagine being Yuji Sakai and looking at this thing and thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do to that?
I mean, what else is there to do at this point, right? I mean, there's obviously there's things that they've done already. Just that, like, there's this floating piece that's right here at the hip. It doesn't really do anything. It just kind of moves around. But I think it was connected originally to the sculpt in the actual 3D model. But then they're just like, we'll just have it as a floating piece.
It's just there.
So this is number 3. The red's in the same spot. Looks great. Look at the other leg. Yeah, I'm not seeing much of a difference either variance with paint-wise. It looks pretty much the same. I do like that it gets a little bit darker down here towards the heel.
And
So that's
feet
a nice
is made
touch.
for walking.
Yeah. No boots here, though.
No.
No boots here. And then let's look at the 4th one. Let's look at the 4th one's feet. Looks good.
it's kind of spooky looking at four S.H.MonsterArts figures back to back, and there's just like nothing.
I know, right? Granted, it's like a simple color scheme, right? Like, it shouldn't
Yeah.
be different. It would be alarming if we had a lot of variance differences with this, but I'm happy to report that it's very consistent through and through. Okay, so let's take a look at the tail. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the dorsals on the back first, and then we'll get to the tail. And then
All
we'll
right.
move on to the accessories. So I'm
Are
going to
the
bring
X
this up higher.
are the X shapes painted?
They're a darker, the X's, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but the X's are a darker gray. You can see that. I turned down my light so you guys can see a little bit better, but the X's are a darker gray on the inside. So you do get a little bit of a, it's like a darker, you know what, it is more of a darker silver color. There's some weathering detail right here on the back shoulder part right here. So this piece has got some weathering on the back of it right here. So it transitions with a lighter silver to a darker one. It's a little hard to see, but I think you guys can kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the dorsals towards the end, towards the inside, gets a little darker as well. They're darker in general, but it does get darker. The shading gets darker at the center of the dorsals. Or it's not the center, but towards the main body. I don't know if you can see it that well here. I think that's the best example right there. You can see how much darker it is in the middle.
Yeah, now I can see it. That is freaky. Never would have noticed that.
And they're highly reflective. Like, you see this position and it seems darker, but if I move them like this, you know,
Yeah.
they're very reflective.
Whew.
So
Shrimp
that's number
asks, was the original color for this figure supposed to be black, judging from the first solicitation photos?
I don't think it was supposed to be black. It was, I think it is a little bit brighter than what was in solicitation, but I also think the lighting in the solicitation makes it look a lot darker than it was intended. But I think just seeing it in person versus what I'm looking at on the camera, like I try to get my camera settings to look exactly what I see in person, but it can only be helped because of reflection. It is definitely darker compared to the original.
Yeah, it
Anyways,
seems
let's look back at the,
every Mechagodzilla that's been given reflective paint is going to look a specific way somehow versus what you get in hand, because that happened with the 93 movie monster series. Both times, actually, where the solicitations almost made it look like a slightly tinted blue, and some areas looked black and everything because of the shadows. So I can see that.
I mean, they all four of these so far, this is number 3. The shading on the jet part that goes up right here, that's still there. It's still present. You know, it's dark in the middle still. It looks good. All right, we're going to look at the 4th one here, and then we'll get to the tail. So here is the 4th one.
Damn.
I mean, it's just so hard to tell with the reflection and everything if there's really any big differences, but it just looks the same to me.
Yeah. Like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah. When everything's the same, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. It's like, you gotta like stammer it on a little bit because it's just damn. That looks nice.
Yeah. Here's the first one's tail. It would have been cool to have the red between the segments on this.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Let's look at the center part of it. I do like that it's painted red all the way to the tip, though, on those little dorsals.
Yeah.
So that's number 1 there. And here's number 2. I mean, it's the same. It really is.
Yeah. Just those tips. Sheesh.
Take a look at number 3 here.
You should give him a rifle because of Fortnite. Fortnite.
I mean, you can see this too when I'm moving it, that instantly some parts of the silver just become darker, you know?
Mm.
And it's just that reflection. Okay, and then let's look at the last one, and then we'll look at some of the accessories. See if those are any different, because those are actually painted.
Okay, Gojira is goated. Relax. That emoji thing almost flashbanged me.
Oh my.
It's like a candy box. Well, Michael, I
Yeah.
know you've been doing this for a while, but all of these look exactly the same.
Yeah, they really do. So that's it for variance comparison of the figures. We're going to look at the beam effects now, because I suspect that there will be some differences here. So I'm going to order these up for you guys. This will be 1, 2, and figure 3, and number 4. It's got some unique, I'm going to try and get these kind of, it's interesting.
They look like rock candy.
Right, that's what I was thinking of. So yeah, so this is, here are your beam effects right here. They're completely translucent. Let me pull, you know, I'm going to push them further back, actually. We'll do a translucency test on it too. I'll shine a light from behind. So, but yeah, so there they are. I mean, kind of the same. I mean, you got your standard red right here. Towards the tips, it gets to that more of that white kind of look, that pinkish white. But other than that, you know, I'm not seeing too much of a difference. I think that the variance here is a little bit more subtle. Like, so this number 2 right here, it's got a little bit less of the white on there. So there's a little bit more of that red peeking through. But for the most part, let's get in a closer look. I'll bring them closer.
Seems like you, myself, and the chat had the same idea for the rock candy comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say, right? Great
Great
minds
minds.
think alike. So
Hungry
yeah, so
minds
here's our
think
closer
alike.
look. Here's our closer look of, so yeah, I can definitely see that number 2 has a little bit less white on it, just off the bat. It's got a little bit less on there. It's not that it's bad, it's just definitely a little bit less. I think number 3 is the brightest white. Number 4 is kind of like in the middle between. It's kind of similar to 1.
Well, if that's the only variance, I'm happy.
I mean, is it even bad variance too? I mean,
No, not at all.
I think at this point it's more of like a subjective thing. Like, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the brighter white, or do you prefer more of the more subtle white? In my opinion, I actually like the more subtle one
Okay.
versus the ones that just kind of get a little bit more white. I like number 2 and number 4. Those are my favorites of these that I'm seeing so far.
Mm.
But you see, not much different here. It's just that translucent plastic. I think it's because it's dyed, you know? It's a dyed
Yeah.
plastic versus painted on. So you're not going to get too much variance right there. I'm curious, though, when we shine light through it. Like, there's already light blasting on these already, but when I put more backlight on it, are we going to get a little bit more... We're going to see a little bit more paint differences, you know? So there's the edge. That one's a little bit more clear at the top. These ones, the 2 in the middle, a little bit more red. These are actually, all 3 of these are more consistent where they got more of that pinkish clear color, whereas this one is just like all white. It's all clear at the top.
He's the oddball.
Yeah. Let's, I'm going to pull these back. Let's shine a light through them. And let's see how these guys light up.
The red trees of flame. Huh. It really does look like we're doing the candy thing here.
I know, right? Get your Mechagodzilla Final Battle Edition candy. So what I'm going to do to try to... I'm going to turn up my shutter like crazy high. So you guys can see that translucent effect right there, how it works.
Mm.
So definitely see-through. Then we'll go back to normal shutter. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. Let's just look one at a time really quick. Oh, I just turned my party mode on the light. I started doing a disco ball moment. I'm gonna lay these down. So you guys can see what the front of it looks like on all 4.
Like flowers.
Kind of like an alien-like flower, right?
Mm.
This one is definitely a lot more white on the bottom. Number 1 right here. It's a little bit more white.
Mm. I think I'm going to have to agree with you with the 2 center ones kind of being in favor because I like the way that that deeper color really shines through. And it's not just bam. That looks cool.
So here, let's take a closer look. So here's our beam, number 1. Very white towards the tip. You can see there's like a mold where they did the manufacturing part. There's a little bit of a cutoff on the inside where the hole is. So it's just see-through. You know, that's where you put the peg. I mean, it looks good. I love the detailing on this because it's kind of like what they did with the Heisei beam.
Mm.
If you took off that part right there, it's got that Heisei beam texture, and then they just kind of added little electric bolts. Now, what would be cool to make this stick out is if these were highlighted a different color, in my opinion, just to give it a little bit more flavor.
Dimension. Oof.
But you can see those details that they've added on it. I just think, like, if they were this white pink color on this, I think that would be pretty rad, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pink on red. Hell yeah.
That was number 1 there. Here's number 2. This is the one that I liked. It's not as bright. But you can see those details when I just kind of move it. You can see the little electricity bolts on there. I think it looks good for what it is. It could be better, though. It could have been better. It could have had this highlight, this pink.
Well, it beats what we've had with Playmates for the past couple of years, so
Yeah. I wonder if you could. You know what? Playmates are a lot larger though, so this would be too. They would be too big. Make them cross compatible.
wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe some orange in there, but I think the pink would have been the way to go.
Definitely.
Highlight a pink.
Definitely the pink.
And then here's our last one. Cool. So those are all of our beam effects there. What should we look at next? Do we want to look at the... Let's look at the blueberry cannon. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do... Let me get them all arranged here in the front. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then number 4. Let me just kind of move those out of the way. Okay. So there is all 4 of those guys right there. Let me just kind of organize them a little bit more. So this one does kind of like what I was talking about with this one, with the beam effect. It should have been like a brighter pink-white color. And on this one, they do it's a lighter blue for the lightning bolts around it.
Oh, okay. These look cool. Sock 'em boppers.
Or pom-poms, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah. You can either
Blueberry
be a sock 'em
punch.
bopper. Yeah. You can either be a
So-
sock 'em bopper or cheerleader.
Let's take a closer look at each one, okay?
Yes.
So this is the number 1. Do you see how much more of a variant of a difference though in flavor it gives when it's a brighter blue? This is a darker blue, and it stands out more, you know?
Yeah, it does.
This is a solid chunk of translucent plastic though. And then on the inside, that's what it looks like. So it's just slots where those fingers go into, just right here. And I believe it's not compatible with this hand part right here. It's going to be compatible with the normal hand. So let me get one of those out really quick. Disconnect it. I'm going to kind of connect these and just see how it goes, right? So you're going to get this piece right here, and it just kind of goes into the slots. If I can figure it out. Or maybe it is the other one. Hold on, let me look at the manual really quick. The manual says
I thought you
it
removed
is.
the...
What's that?
RoboLizard said, I thought you removed the hands and popped it onto the ball joint.
I'm not. You can remove the hand part right there, but you can't remove the arm if that's what you're asking. The arm doesn't come off.
There's no ball
So I'm
joint
just
at the
trying to-
wrist?
Well, so let me show you guys really quick how this looks. So there is a ball joint on the wrist part itself, but that does not come off.
Oh.
So the hand part itself is attached to the ball joint, and you just pop this off. This is one solid piece. You don't take this piece off.
Do you pop the effect piece onto the forearm, though?
Oh, while it's together? Yeah, I
Yeah.
could try that. Let's try that instead of doing it how I was doing it. The thing is I'm trying to look at the manual, and I'm trying to figure out which way, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, right? So it's just like, which way does this go? Oh, you know what?
Take the hand off.
No, that's right.
And then... Is it?
This says it's on the manual. It says to take the hand off.
Oh.
So let me show you guys the manual. The manual says to remove the hand part first, and then you put it on. So
Yeah. Robo
I don't think
Lizard,
it
you
goes
were right.
on. So yeah, take it off, and then the tricky part is trying to figure out which hand it goes on, because it's not
No, Michael, I think you're
entirely
supposed
clear.
to put the effect piece directly onto the forearm.
Oh. Oh, you're right. What was I
Yeah.
doing? I'm a silly guy. I am
Listen,
a
it was
silly
a
guy.
long day
Okay.
yesterday. It's hot.
It was. That's right. Okay. That's how it. I'm a dum-dum. I thought the hand went in there. Okay. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Robo Lizard, thank you so much, man. Yes, that's how it goes on. You just take it off and plug it in. For some reason, I was thinking you had to swap it out and plug it in through the hand part.
Well, with
So
those
ignore the.
divots in there, I can understand why.
Yeah. Ignore my thoughts about those divots, the slots on the inside. It just plugs into the ball joint. Yep. That's how it's done.
And hey, that looks nice.
It sure does. So in that case, I'm just going to take them off. Both the hand parts right there. And we'll just plug them in. Instead of swapping through the different Mechagodzillas, I'm just going to swap these. So this is the important part. To know which side these go on, the flare part goes on the outside of the arm. So you just plug it in.
Like a glade.
And it goes on so easy. Yeah.
Nice.
It became a lot heavier though. So
Yeah.
be careful when you put this on, because now that's added weight. So you're going to have to figure out a good pose so that your Mechagodzilla is not going to fall over. But yeah, so that's it with the pom-poms. Blueberry pom-poms.
That's cool. Hadouken!
Looks really cool though.
It does.
Let me get closer.
Very pretty, yes. No, I'm not going to G Fest. I don't think Michael's going to G Fest. Are you going to G Fest, Michael?
No, I'm not
No.
going to G-Fest.
No.
Yeah, had to pick one to go to, right?
Yeah.
So that was 1 and 2. And you know what? For the sake of time, instead of just swapping them in and out, I'm just going to show you the differences between these guys here. So this is number 2's.
Nice.
It's very similar. I don't see any much of a difference, honestly. If there is any differences, it might be in the highlight parts. But it's mostly the same. Here's number 3. Very, very clean blue. It's almost like looking at that clean ocean water that's kind of see-through, you know?
Mm-hmm. That Jordanian.
Yeah. These look great. That was number 3. And here's number 4. Really not a whole lot of differences, honestly.
They all look great. Powerful.
Which is great, yeah. Those look good. I'm going to leave the pom-poms on this guy right here, because we're going to do a final shot with it all decked out with all the pieces on there. Okay.
Nice.
So let me do the 4, 3, and this is number 2. So now we get to the more intricate parts about doing this, is the engine parts on the side of the figure. So to do this, this is really cool. You lift this part up first. So let me get a good angle here. To do this next part, what you need to do is lift up the shoulder part. And then from there, these should slide down if you can get a good grip. I'm sure you will versus me because I'm using gloves, right? I'm gonna have to use my tweezers to get into it because I have no grip.
Oh dear.
But there is a sliding piece right here. And it just kind of opens up.
Oh.
So it opens up like that. It's on kind of like a hinge kind of system. So I'm gonna show you guys the inside of it.
Oh.
It pops up. So this part pops up when you open it up, and then it's just like a door. It swings, but you can also push it inside. So right now it's up. So if I go on the front side, you can see it pop up like that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Nifty.
So it's a door. Yeah, it's a little door that kind of swings open. And then it reveals 3 holes, 3 peg holes right there. And what you're going to do is you plug in this part, the ball joint right here, into each of those parts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to zoom out, though, so that it's not going to go out of focus too much when I do this. So you do this part. It recommends that when you do this part that you don't have the effect part in there just yet.
Makes sense to me. Then take it. It's not my wallet.
You don't have to put too much force actually when you're doing this. There's a very small snap sound. It's not a very loud sound. It's very, very soft, but you can feel it when you're pushing it in there that it's secure. So while the engine parts are in there, let's just kind of take a look. I'll use the tweezers to do this because they're just so small. So yeah, this kind of just goes back and forth, being on a ball joint. So they can rotate, you can twist them, and you can angle them.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty cool. Let's try putting in some of the flame effects. It does not matter which ones go where. There's no like part 1, part 2. They just all just kind of slide in. So there's no difference. There's no difference in the paint parts. They go all the way in, so you don't have to worry about it half hanging out a little bit. And they just slide in there. There's no resistance. Oh yeah, look at that. This is easier to move this way too, when you got all of them in there.
Wow.
Once when you get them secured though, in there, you can just go ahead and you can push the bottom in first and then push the top part. The idea of the final look is that it's supposed to look like it's sticking out on purpose, like that. Because it is. I mean, it's a joint that's come out. You can push it up against it so that it's more open, but the manual says that you should probably keep it closed, and you can still move these however which way you need to move them. So, but yeah, they can go. This is going to be cool. For anybody that's into stop motion, you'll be able to move these freely in whichever direction. It's just if you're doing stop motion, you may not want to use these parts because they don't move, right? So do your own digital effect. Let's do the other side. Lift this up first, pop this out. And then we'll get these other parts in there. Yeah, you don't have to push too hard with these engines. They just kind of just pop in. And you can feel it when they get in there. Okay.
And so once you get
flame effects in there.
Once you get everything on this thing, it's just going to be very, very pretty, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be the most decorated. Well, I don't know. Actually, Kiryu is pretty decorated, right?
Yeah, he's got a lot.
When he's got everything on there, he's got a lot going on. The backpack, especially heavy arms version. There's a lot. Oop, there's a lot going on with that one. Yeah, I didn't have that one pushed on all the way. There we go. Now it's all the way in. Okay. Then we just push that in there. Okay, so let's look at all 3 of these in their spots. This, I would suggest keeping these shoulder parts up while in this pose. So there it is.
That looks
Let me
cool.
just turn this around. So they're, wow. Let me zoom in on that. They're completely translucent, so when the light shines through them, they'll shine. Look at that, though. That's just fantastic. I love
Phew.
this.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. There's more to do with this figure, right? So, boy, I tell you what, though, I will tell you, these pom-pom hands, they add so much weight to the front of it. Like, it just wants to fall over right now. And I'm trying to figure out a better position to keep it from doing that. There we go. And these joints are so stiff out of the box. You guys got to get some Liberty Shock Oil. You can get it on Amazon for like 10 bucks or whatever, but this is going to make it a little bit easier for you to move these die-cast joints. Another thing to note for everybody as well, this part on the shoulder, just like the first release, this shoulder part also comes up for additional rockets.
Oh.
Pops up just like that. I don't know if you knew that, Rob.
No.
But yeah, it pops up right there for a little bit of mini rockets. This was just like the first release. The first release could do that. It's also got on this one side as well. So they pop up right there. And then also on the chest, they kept the rockets on the chest as well. So you can, let me just kind of move my hand up there. So this just kind of tilts down. I can get it to go. I can't get in there that well.
Bro's got torso torpedoes too?
And that is actually one of the reasons why it doesn't move at the torso, is because of these right here.
Oh.
There we go. So yeah, it pops down. I can get this one to pop down. There we go. They're a little stuck at first, but after moving it, yeah, so they pop down. So there's your stomach missiles right there.
Jesus.
We're going to get this thing rigged so that it's basically firing on all cylinders. Let's kind of angle this up a little bit more. Oh, it's just so stiff right there. Okay. Yeah, I need to hit this thing. You guys are probably wondering like why I'm not hitting this with heat. Doesn't matter with die cast joints. If you hit them up with heat, it doesn't do anything. You got to get the oil, the lubricant. Okay. So we got the back parts on there. Let's do the tail tip.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the tail tip. So let's get down here. So according to the manual, let's take a look at that because I want to make sure I'm pulling this off correctly. The manual just says that you just pop it off. You just pull it off. So don't hold it by up here when you do it. Hold it by the edge like this, and you just pull that out. Just easy like that. Easy peasy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the drill, the new piece right here, it just goes in. That's it. And there is your drill tip. Makes your exclusive Kong now have a reason to fight Mechagodzilla on your display in a more accurate manner. Let me just turn up the lighting right here. So this, big question, does it spin? Yes, it does. It spins. It spins. So stop motion people, rejoice. You can spin it. It doesn't matter which way it goes in. These parts will not open. That's why it's a swappable tail. So they don't open or close. These parts don't move. All it can do is just spin.
I like it.
So, but yeah, that's the tail tip. So we'll leave that part on. What other pieces are we missing here? We got the pom-poms. I think it's just the beam effect. That's all we've got left to put together.
Yeah.
So, does it plug into anything? I don't think it does. Okay, so the beam effect does not plug into any parts of the mouth. Be aware of that. It actually says there's a warning to be careful when you're plugging it into the mouth so you don't scratch the paint.
Oh,
So we've got that the circular part right there. We've got the stand that it comes with. So unlike, Godzilla 2021 or the other legendary Godzillas, you're gonna have to use a stand part. You can't just have it in the mouth. So let me just move this back.
gotta do it the good old fashioned way.
Yep. So this just plugs in. Let's see here. Right here, it actually plugs in towards the front, which is pretty smart because the front end is much more top heavy than the back. And then you just angle this up, and that's it.
Nice.
There is your completed effect and look. So it doesn't plug in, like I said, it doesn't plug in, but you can angle the head down so it's more centered. Let me get a better view of this for you guys on the side. We're going to do a profile. Okay, so yeah, so there it is.
Damn.
With all those effects parts and everything put together. Let me push it further back. Get more of it in the frame. Okay.
That is one colorful Mechagodzilla.
Definitely. So that's what it looks like all completed and everything, just me throwing it together. The beam effect and all that, it looks great. Reminder that this figure is massive too. This is like a 7.5 inch figure versus the Godzilla, which is 6.3 inches.
Jesus.
So I think that's the only thing about this figure that, because of movie production and whatever Toho gave them and Legendary gave them when it came to stats, height stats, that is the only thing that's probably not accurate with this, is that despite the model being accurate, the size is just, it's a lot larger. But there you have it, guys. That's with all the effect parts in there and everything. Okay, I need to take a water break really quick. Let's kind of answer some questions that are in the chat for now. And then we're going to get into articulation.
All right, guys, gals, pals of all styles, if you got questions, please let them go. Run wild with the questions in reference to that Mechagodzilla.
I'm going to bring this a little bit closer.
Mechagodzilla with his red rock candy proton beam. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to take a water break. Woo!
Gotta hydrate.
Amen to that.
What was the first Godzilla movie you watched?
That's for you, right? There it is. Shinra Jiro, what was the first Godzilla movie you watched?
Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, or Ebirah Horror of the Deep. That was the first one. It's the one that ruined my life forever.
It's what made me me.
Yeah. No BS in there. That is exceptionally true. Oof.
Mechagodzilla with rock candy proton. Yeah, absolutely. It is gorgeous, isn't it? I'm kind of going through the comments, kind of backtracking a little bit. Legendary Mechagodzilla for my Gundam battle. Yes, sir. One day I will buy. That's a better legendary. Yeah, well, that day could be soon, right? Just save up. Nice. I'm for sure going to buy a stand to prop him up with all these parts. It's possible to balance with all this stuff. It's just that when we're doing it live, we're under pressure to get to the next shot. We don't have time to sit and putz around.
Yeah, don't want to.
Gojira is goated, yeah. Boatload of colors. Yeah, it's a very colorful. Once when you get all the accessories on there, the colors pop even more. Like you got the red and the gunmetal, the light gunmetal, and then you get that red and the blue and the flame effects on the back. It looks really cool.
It really does. No question.
Let's see here. We've got, looks like thruster parts from the robot spirits. Dope. This is so badass. My bad. I'll stop. Oh, I see. All right. So let me grab. I'm going to take another drink of that water.
And get hydrated.
And then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to look through the articulation of these figures. I'm not going to do the articulation of the one that's decked out, though. We'll look at a different one.
Yeah, gotta keep them all iced out with the accessories and everything.
Yeah. I will change one of the accessories on number 2, though, to the open hand.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'll change out number 2's hand effects parts so that you guys can see the hands closed. Yeah, they don't want to stay on when you're trying to take these off. So there's
A little bit of
piece right there.
surgery.
We'll put on this hand. Yeah, when you guys go to take off these hand parts, they just sort of crumble apart because of the way that they're engineered. It's mainly the open hand parts. They're not gonna. Oh, this one stayed together. That's nice. We'll put this one on there so that you guys can see the difference of hands right there. These ones, they don't open and close. They just stay shut like that. You can mix and match these different hand parts. So you don't have to have it so that they're both, the closed hand. You can mix and match so that one's open and one's closed, but this is the closed hand.
Looks like a UFO claw grabbing hand.
Yeah, right.
From like little claw machines. Noah wants to know if we'll be doing size comparisons with other figures.
Yes, that will be after articulation. We'll go into that.
So it's coming up. Imagine if they put LEDs in this bad boy. Oh boy. Mechagodzilla
you know what?
2021. Kill.
Yeah. As much as I'd love to customize this, I mean, you'd have to strip this down a lot to put actual LEDs in there. Like, there's no room to put LEDs, and there's none of the parts on the body are translucent, so it just wouldn't work. So.
But man.
Okay, so
he would glow.
We're going to go over articulation. Let's go ahead and start with the head. So as far as the head articulation goes, we've got the head itself cannot look up beyond a certain point because there's a sculpt part that just stops it. So it's not going to look up more than this. That's just end of the story right there. I mean, we can try to move it. Yeah, that's as far as it's going to go. As far as looking down, though, so here's your straight. You can look it down quite a bit. When you go left to right, you can tilt the head. I mean, you can almost... Oh, look at that. Yep, you can turn it around 360.
Jesus.
Kind of. Well, yep. It can turn all the way around the head. When it comes to the mouth can open up very wide. It's the widest compared to all... compared to the original. The original doesn't even open up this wide, I don't think. So you can definitely get some range out of that. There is this neck part right here. It kind of moves a little bit up and down, but not too much. Most of that neck movement's going to come from the base right here. This part. So, and then just, it's very limited. If you were to compare it to Godzilla 2021, right? It's just more limited. Now, when it comes to moving that most of your articulation is going to come with the base of the head right here. And you can angle it a little bit just to get that little extra oomph, right? So this is like straight on the chest. You can see it's turning pretty far over there. So I do like that. I mean, even the neck, the middle neck part, that can twist all the way around too.
Wow. Damn.
So you've got some range on that for sure.
Yeah, they definitely compensated from not being able to look all the way up at the head. The fact that you can have that much movement throughout the neck is really nice, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And you can also, you know, we'll get into it later when we get to the leg articulation, but I believe I can angle it to the point where it is looking straight up. The whole body is looking up. So let's get into the chest area, the arms, before we get to the torso. These parts right here, they do go up and down. That's it. They don't twist or turn. It's just to accommodate your shoulder movement. So if the shoulders go up right here, it's very stiff when you do this. Don't be afraid, guys. When you're moving these are die cast joints. They're not plastic. If you got resistance, it's fine because they're die cast. They can handle it. So that's as far as that goes. But here's the thing. So like I said, this kind of accommodates that, right? So when you lift that up, it'll move down. You can move that down further. You can go up. This part of it also twists. So you can twist the arm like so. Yeah. You've also got, the die-cast discs on the inside of it. So this part of the arm, you cannot twist this part. Can't twist this part. You can twist this part of the arm, but not this part. But you can rotate it like so. So when you're coming up with your poses, it gets a little awkward with this figure. I remember doing that when I was doing toy photography at the time, because you can make it go all the way out, you can twist it all the way up. Here's a better view of that articulation, by the way. You got your die cast joint. The actual shoulder, it won't, I don't think this will pop off or anything like that. It's very secure, but you've got a nice rotation right there. You can go inward, outward movement, so you can kind of manipulate it into different positions. As far as the elbow goes, like I said, you can twist it right here all the way around. You just have to, when you do the elbow bend, you have to go wherever you see this, the hinge, the disc part right there. So when you go to twist it shut, you know, that's when you can bend it. Like I said, it's going to be really stiff out of the box. So get some Liberty shock oil, put that between these slots right here, and that's going to loosen it up so you don't have to worry about so much resistance. And as far as the hands go, they are on a ball joint, so you can tilt them in different direction. It's not massive. It's your typical wrist movement, right? There's nothing special. But you can twist it, you can rotate it up and down.
Hands.
Now we get in. Yeah, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up. Sorry, it's a little bit of 2 p.m. right there. But yeah, so you can get some really crazy poses out of this, some fun, funky poses, I should say, right? Torso movement. There is no torso movement in this figure. You cannot move its torso at all. It doesn't bend, nothing like that. I know a lot of folks were hoping that maybe they would do something with the torso to make it a little bit better, but honestly, with this added function on the side right here, you know, lifting this piece up and getting this piece to pop out, I just don't think it's possible with this gimmick now. Like, it could have been possible in the first figure because it didn't have this mode, you know, that pops out, but with that popping out, I just don't see how much more, you know, because it's just a solid piece inside.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that would work with articulation. Other than maybe making this not plastic, this whole torso. What if they did like a bendy wire, right?
Oh,
maybe
dear.
that could work. I mean, it could.
It could.
Right?
It's
I
just
mean, you could,
that like the idea is scary. It's just
like, it could be a
little
giant
scary.
bendy wire in the middle, and then that's it. That's all I can think of. I can't think of any other way to really engineer it myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an engineer or anything by any means, but that's your sacrifice with this figure. Because of these joints and this side joint, you're just not going to get any torso articulation. So when it comes to that kind of movement, it's all going to be within the legs. Everything you do in the legs right here is how you're going to get this pose to make it look like it's standing up straight or how it's hunched over. So, but let's kind of look over the legs really quick. This part right here on the top doesn't move, I don't think. Yeah, so this part, it's just kind of, it sheathes over on top of the die cast joint, but it's not actually going to move. And I wouldn't force it either. There is this piece. Yeah, so that's as far as it goes. And then the disc obviously wants to move this direction. The pistons move with it nicely. The pistons are attached, and I believe it has changed. For anybody that's just joining us, we talked a little bit in the earlier part of the stream, but anybody that's just joining us, they looks like they did fix the piston area. It looks like this is all die cast now. I don't think it's plastic. The first version had plastic where it connected right here, but it looks die cast. It looks all die cast now, so that's great. And it moves as far as, so like I said earlier, you can go up and down. You can twist slightly, but that's kind of it. That's as far as the twist goes, and that's because of the pistons. If you removed the pistons, I don't recommend that, but if you want to get creative with your photography and you get confident, these pistons attached to a ball joint right here, you can pop these out and the leg will have a lot more range and movement. I don't recommend it though, not unless you know what you're doing and if you know the risks involved. But that's as far as the twistiness goes in that. The actual bend of the knee. So the knee bend, you know, it can go straight. There's also pistons on the back right here that kind of, they kind of rotate, or not rotate, they kind of move with the movement, but they don't, they go in and out too, like that. So that's a nice mechanical feature right there. You can see it also kind of separates a little bit. When I do that, I'll do it a little bit slower. But it gets close. You see how that piece gets close to that? So I love that this figure is mechanically like, it just moves just like a machine would, right? Like you're not using ball joints. You're actually using actual functional parts to help with the movement. But because of that, it is a little bit more restricted in toy form. So, and you can't twist this either. The shin, no twisting. The kneecap doesn't move either. It looks like it moves when you go up and down, but you can't, I don't think you can it's a little tight. I don't think I can loosely move it. Yeah, it looks the same, pretty much. There are even little, now I don't think these are attached to anything, but there are pistons in the front. When you move that piece, they gonna go inward like that.
Oh.
But they're not on a, it's just a piece, this red piece even moves with it. It just moves back into it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
But it adds to the realism. These are what we would call fake pistons right here. They're not actually real pistons by any means. As far as the feet go, you know, the feet, this is the highlight of the articulation when it comes to this figure, I think. Well, almost, but it's die-cast joints still. You got that rocker. It's very similar to Kiryu's, actually, in how it works. So you can rock it back and forth, side to side. You can go all the way down. So just to show you guys a side view. So as far as the foot goes, you can make it go that far down, or you can make it go that far up. Oh, look at that. This piece, I forgot, this piece moves as well on the back end. So you can keep that together. When you move this foot back, it moves backwards. You know what? I should just do it on this foot right here since it's closer. So, you know, this piece, you can move it that way, and it goes like that. It won't go back, obviously. If you go like this, it's going to create that gap. You're going to have to use your thumb to bring it back in there. But, and as far as twisting goes, sorry to say, the feet are not going to twist either. So this is the front view. They're not going to twist because they're on a hinge. So they're only going to do this. You're going to get rocker movement that's diagonal, you know, and you can move it all around, but you're not going to be able to twist those feet, unfortunately. So the feet are always going to be front facing. So how does that work when we're trying to get it into a different pose, right? How does this all go together? So let's kind of explore that for a second. So like I said, a lot of that movement is going to go with the feet. You see how the feet are just kind of splayed out like that? Let me turn up the brightness. So they're just kind of splayed out, but because of that rocker, you can fix that. You just push the foot down and it'll be flat. Let's try to get this in different poses though. Like, let's do like a hunched over pose, right? Even more hunched over. This foot can lift up. You want to bring the ankle part down. So with Mechagodzilla looking down, let's bring its arms down. Remember that if you twist these parts, if you want it to reposition those arms, you have to remember which direction that is, you know, before you start doing that again.
Yeah.
So as far as looking straight down, I mean, I can get it pretty far, actually, because those rocker joints right there, I'm going to use the fist to kind of hold it up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure we can get this thing Yeah. So this is, it may have not looked it the first time around, but let me bring the camera down a little bit. So this is it bent over.
Jeez.
We're using one hand to support it because it will fall over. But if you wanted your Mechagodzilla to bend over, I mean, it's bending over. It's not standing up straight. And that's not because of torso movement. It's because of all the hip movement. That's how you're going to achieve this, is in that right there. So let's see if we can get it straight up this time. So let's manipulate those legs. Again, you don't have to really worry too much about the die-cast joints because they're so stiff. They're not going to break or anything like that. You're going to get a lot of resistance, honestly. So much resistance when you're posing this. But the goal right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and get it so that it's posing where it's looking up as far as it can by using those leg joints. And we'll get a roaring look. And a lot of that is going to have to do with leaning backwards against the tail. But there it is. There's your roaring up in the air.
That's not bad at all.
Nope, it works. And the joints, they're fully extended at the piston area right there. But a lot of that has to do with the things of the tail support. But you can even see, like, just to kind of compare, this one's more of your, this is the neutral pose right here with this one. And you can see how much more this is looking up into the sky, right? Let me put them so that they're looking at each other. So that's the difference. So you can get it to look up towards the sky. You just have to bend those legs. That's all.
Duly noted. Damn.
And then lastly, we are going to look at the part that people will probably freak out the most, right? The tail!
Ugh.
What did they do to the tail? Let's find out.
The horror
So
stories.
let me angle this
heard.
up. Yeah. So the first one, so here, story time for everybody really quick. The first version of Mechagodzilla, the tail, there was a lot of reports, especially in North America, of it just falling off. People were just moving the tail and it would just fall off. Not so much from Japan, but mostly from the Western side. Maybe it's because we weren't used to the joint style. Maybe it was due to poor build quality. But there were a lot of reports of that tail breaking. When I messed with my figure, never had any issues. The tail moved quite well. It held its pose very well. And it had some resistance to it at the same time, but I was very careful. This one, let's see what they've changed with it. I'm going to hold it by the base. Just off the cuff. Let me zoom out so we can get a little bit more. I'm going to move this forward. All right. So it is very flexible this time around, and there's no resistance.
Wow.
Look at that.
Fluid.
No, this is very fluid. Compared to the first release, there's no resistance. This is side-to-side movement. Let's go up and down movement now. So as far as up goes, we can go into kind of like a scorpion kind of thing. I am noticing that the tail this time around is not holding its pose. It's falling. Let me do it nice and slow. Yeah, it's not holding compared to the original. The original can hold this pose, no problem. But it just falls down. But as far as it can go going this direction, that's it. Let's see how far we can go going this direction.
Good old
Not
Alien
so
3.
much. Not so much. And that's because these parts, the sculpted bits, are a lot larger and they're just in the way. So you're not going to see that. Let me pop out my screen so I can make sure that you guys are seeing this clearly. And then I can see what I'm doing while I'm standing up and doing this. Okay, so yeah, that's as far as it's going to go. Not that far. You're going to get more range going upward. You might have to get that Kiki Fix loose joint solution for this, though, because it's just so loose. Yeah, it's not holding at all. Doesn't hold at all.
Oof.
But as far as the smoothness goes, like, geez, let me get more in front of this so you guys can see further.
Yeah, you could not do that with
If
the
you're gonna,
original one.
and I'm gonna do it with the original when I bring it out, just so you guys can see the differences, because I'm confident in mine. So, but yeah, it's very fluid. It's not falling off or anything like that. So I am curious to see if they changed it, because the original, the joints were kind of snapped into the plastic. Where, and if you guys are familiar, there is a bootleg of this figure on the market. It doesn't do that in the bootleg. The bootleg is just ball joints that go straight down. But this is, it's a little disappointing that it's not holding the pose out of the box. I'm going to check out these other ones really quick. Let's see if they all are like that. So that was figure number 2 we were messing with. Here's figure number 1. Doesn't hold. Yeah, it just falls down.
Oof.
But as far as, look at that though. Look at how far it goes though. Okay, so it's holding a side to side quite well, actually. Let's go higher up. Okay, so that's something to note. That is something to note right there. It's holding its pose when we're going to the side. It's just that when we get up high like this, when we're going up higher straight on, it's not holding it. But from the side, it holds.
Huh.
So that's an interesting bit. So you can get some side-to-side tail movement. Yeah, even going on this side right here. Yeah, you know what? It might just be... Yeah. It's not holding on the left side when I do it, but it held on the right side. Let's see if I can replicate it. Yeah.
Weird.
Well, no, maybe not. But look at that. You can touch the chest with this thing.
Nuts.
So I'm going to apply some Kiki Fix to this, because I guarantee you Kiki Fix is going to fix, because where it's loose at is right here. And this is, in fact, a ball joint. You can take that off. It looks kind of similar to how they did it before. That joint is capped on the inside of it. Like these two plastic pieces kind of cage around it, so you can't pull it out. It might be that this is just not pushed in all the way, so it's not gripping the ball joint. I'm going to try that a little bit later. I might take some tweezers, or not tweezers, the needle nose pliers, and I might heat this up because it's just plastic. And I might push that in to see if I can get it to clamp around it, because I don't think it's clamping around that ball joint tightly, because it droops throughout here.
Yeah.
I don't really want to take it apart though. I don't want to take this apart because I don't know what it looks like. If somebody is eventually brave enough to do this and they want to disassemble it, I will tune in and I will report. But I'm not going to take mine apart, because I know that the other one, from looking at breakages on the original, I don't want to risk it. But hypothetically, these all might be ball joints now, and that's why it droops. That's probably maybe what happened versus how they did the style before. But that was number 1. Let's take a look at number 3 and 4 and see if they also have the same issue where the tail just drops. This is number 4. Oh, the 4th one is the loosest.
Oof.
It can still, yeah, 4 is the loosest. I'll tell you guys what I'll do is, for anybody that is going to be picking these up for me, I will go ahead and apply Kiki Fix on these guys' tails to get them a little bit better to hold still. Free of charge, I will go ahead and do that for you guys if anybody picks up these extras from me.
You're a real one.
And that will make a better tail, yeah. But you guys can get an idea of how well that solution works too. Yeah, the tail is just, yeah, number 4 is the loosest out of all of them right there.
He is limp noodle.
Yeah. And you know what? A second ago, so this one did come apart. I'm sure you guys heard it. There was a sound that falling earlier. So it did come apart right here, and it is a ball joint. Look at that.
Oh.
So I think they did change it all. I think that they're all ball joints now. It looks like it. I will be
Interesting.
very careful. I'm going to do it on mine first, where I dissect it. I will do it on off camera, obviously, not now, but it will plug in right here. I think they did change it. I think it's all ball joint now, versus that weird joint that I seen before. So here's number 3. Does it do it? Does it hold? It does not.
Woof.
So all tails are loose. I think that we're going to see this across every figure because of the re-engineering of whatever they did in here in the tail. They're just not going to hold. Number 1 held the best, though, out of all of them. 3 is good. It's not as loose as number 4. Number 4 was definitely the loosest. Yeah, you can just see it just sags. But as far as the movement goes, like look at that. It's still, it's wonderful. It's buttery smooth. It's so smooth. Okay, I've had my fun. So that was the tail articulation right there. Okay, so that was our variance comparison. We did our articulation sample. Let's do scale comparisons with the original. Actually, before we even do scale comparison, let's just compare it to the original. How's that sound, Rob?
That sounds amazing, because I want to see.
And I'm going to use a different one. Yeah, we're going to use number 3 with this. Let me just get it so it's not falling over. Okay, so let's get the original out here. I know everybody has been wanting to see this too. So here's the original. Oh my god, yeah, the original's tail is so much more stiff. Like, you can hear that, right?
Yeah. Oh.
It's so much more stiff, yeah. Okay, so here's the original compared to the new one. Let me just fix my mirror there. Okay. So there they are, together. So this is more of a brighter silver, and then this one has got that little bit of that gunmetal silver to it. So it's not as dark as what you saw in the promo images. The promo images definitely looked a lot darker. The silver is darker, it's just not as dark as the promo. But man, what a difference, right? With that red being added to it.
Yeah, it really does make the figure pop, and I feel like I can see a difference between the heads, just color-wise.
Yes. So the head on this one on the original is very clean, but you can see some weathering, especially right here in the face. Let me just turn down my brightness on my light right here. You guys might see that a little bit better. You can see how much darker it is on that chin right there.
Reflecties.
Yeah, it's hard to really capture it with so much reflection bouncing, you know, but I can tell you that it's a lot. So the original is definitely a duller silver, by the way. It's more dull in color, not as chrome reflection, you know. It's like the new one's not entirely chrome either, but it's definitely a lot more reflective and shiny compared to the original. The original is kind of like what I would describe like almost like a matte finish done to it. But it's still silver, so you got that light bounce reflection. But like even just looking at you can see it right here too. Like this is darker on this than over here.
Oh yeah.
Even on the rib cage is also a darker silver too than the rib cage over there. And as far as the red is, you know, I said that it looked brighter on this. It's about the same as the original. So there's the originals. And then you got the new one. I think that just having more red on it makes this red pop more though. Because on this one, you're just kind of like, is there red on it?
Yeah, you got to take a second glance.
Even the tail, I think this is a good example. You could see how much darker the silver is on the tail versus the silver on the original right there.
Yes. For sure.
And let's look at the chest. Let me just move my tweezers out of the way, right? So as far as the chest area goes, let's get my reflector out for this part.
Oh.
I think this, I mean, you can already see it's way brighter on the chest. This is like a whole different color on the original right here.
Yeah.
And then this one's
Wholeheartedly.
actually it's consistent with the main body on the chest right there too. But you can see that it's a whole different color.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in. Uh-oh, I knocked over my... Let me just put the reflector back. I accidentally hit it. Yeah. So it's just like, it's like a white silver. And then on this one right here, it's just consistent. I mean, I can see the gunmetal better now. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah. I can definitely see that more in the chest with this one. Especially in comparison. I mean, the difference alone.
Yeah. Brighter silver, darker silver. It's almost like a pinkish kind of toned, and it might be reflection from that red too. Let's look at the legs really quick. So there's how dark those legs are, and then look how much brighter they are in the original.
Yeah. They're almost muted on the original in comparison. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm seeing the darkness a lot better. When you don't get the light reflection on there, you can see it a lot better.
Darkness.
Of just how dark, much more dark the silver is. I think when you're blasting it with light, though, you know, it kind of washes out that dark tone. But you can just see it much better. Yeah. So that's, you know, there's not too... Let's open up the mouth differences. So, because I think I mentioned it earlier that the new one can open up its mouth pretty far. You know what? The original can open up its mouth, actually, pretty wide. Oops, I popped off the head. You know why? Because So, you know what? I think they're identical. Let me just pop off this head, too.
Double fatality.
So in terms of... Yeah. So let's look at the bottoms of both heads right here. So let me switch them up really quick. The original is in my right hand, and the new one is on my left hand right here. The engineering is pretty close to being the same. You can see on this one right here, there's another hinge piece right there, whereas this one on the right, it's just 2 points that it connects to. But as far as terms of wideness, let's try it again. I'm going to plug these guys in. Let me just close the mouth. If you ever do pop off the heads, close the mouths, because the mouths, they'll keep opening beyond their range when they're not connected. There we go. So let's try this again. So when the head is looking up, that's as wide as that one goes. And when the head is also looking up on this one, so they're both about the same, honestly. When it comes to the same range, they're about the same. Where did my reflector go? There it is. Okay. Oh, that's the gold. So yeah, they're definitely about the same. Now let's get into the tail articulation, the differences between that, okay?
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, guys, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It'll be fine. The original right here, you can hear it. It's got that resistance. There's just, but you know what? Because there's this resistance, this actually holds no matter which pose you put it in. It will hold for the most part of the original. Because it's been changed, though, it's been adjusted on the new one. But, you know, this is as far as, like, it's resisting a lot. Just doing this movement. This is the original I'm doing this on right now. It still has that, Yeah, it's definitely increased. The amount of articulation that you can do with this new one right here. It's just so smooth. There's no resistance to it. I'm not worried about it falling apart or breaking or anything like that. It's just that it's a shame that it's a little bit loose at the top. And it's all for all of these. So I expect that this is going to be something that's prevalent with all releases of this figure. They're just going to have loose top. It's not that the bottom is loose. It's the top part that's loose. So I'm going to Kiki fix all 4 of these guys up before I send them out to anybody. Yeah, it just doesn't hold. So that's the articulation, though, with that one in the original. Let's do some size comparisons.
Size comparison time!
Yes. So let's do... Who do we want to bring out first? Do we want to bring out Kong? Or Godzilla?
Suko.
Let's do... Suko. We'll get to requests after we do the main cast.
Alrighty.
So everybody that's watching the stream right now, get ready with your requests. We'll bring out a couple. We're wrapping this up shortly with the main part of the live stream. But here is Godzilla 2021 with Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah, he does tower over him. Holy moly.
Yeah, he does. Let me put these guys a little bit further back.
I like that.
So he's definitely towers over Godzilla. You can pose Mechagodzilla so that it's more bent over to make it more about the same size, but it is a larger sculpt by comparison.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Ah. So
this is, by the way, this is the first issue. I thought I had the reissue on display, but I guess I don't. This is the first issue of Godzilla 2021.
Mechagodzilla is taller, everybody.
Yeah, he's pretty tall, all right. Let's bring out Kong.
Monkey.
I'll have all 3 of them there too in a second. So this is the, which is this? This is the first issue of Kong as well. I went ahead and customized my first Kong. So this one has a matte coat application on it because it was so darn shiny from before. Let me just get this. No tail, harder to pose. So yeah, there's our Kong. So if you guys are curious, if you ever wanted to do a matte finish on your figure, that's what it would look like right there.
Honestly, I think it looks better.
Oh, it does. It cuts down all that shine. It brings out the detail too.
Yeah.
Just a matte coat. That's all it is. You can use any arts. I used a airbrush to do it instead of a dry brushing effect. But yeah, Kong is pretty tiny. Let's bring out the EE Kong, the event exclusive or exclusive edition Kong. This one is very shiny because it's supposed to represent kind of like that oil spill on it.
Oh. Okay.
So there's our EE Kong. Yeah.
He's Angie.
Okay. So that's how that scales. And then let's bring Godzilla back into frame.
Jeez.
Get them more side by side there. So yeah. There's our GVK lineup with the event exclusive Kong, Final Battle Edition Mechagodzilla, and then we got Godzilla 21. They look good next to each other. What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. I like that
good.
Mechagodzilla is taller. Just a big boy.
Yeah, he is. Okay. So that wraps up our basic comparisons and everything, variance, articulation. We're going to take some requests to do some scales comparisons with the new Mechagodzilla. So guys in the chat, go ahead and write down which ones you want to see it with.
Oh, we've got a couple already.
All right.
Robo Lizard, you monster.
Rob Michael, it was great watching along, but I'm off for the night. Hey, thanks, man. Can't wait to see. Hey, cool, man. We'll see you then.
Thank you for joining.
Super Mario Zilla. Yeah, Super Mario Zilla's here. Very excited to get mine. Awesome, dude. Okay. Man, yeah, he does look good. The Blu-ray edition. Yeah, let's get that guy out. Give me 1 second.
The Blu-ray edition?
So he's talking about the poster version of Godzilla 2019.
Okay. The really, really cool one.
That's
impossible to find.
Yeah. That one is all, you could only get that a part of the set. The Amazon Blu-ray set in Japan. And that sold out so quick. Very hard to find that one brand new for a good price. But Mandarake is actually really cool. People have sold this figure loose, and it's a lot more affordable versus buying the whole set with the movie. So this is the poster version 2019 Godzilla.
Oh, he blew.
Just put these guys up. Oh yeah, it's all entirely translucent plastic and everything.
Oh.
So there's our... Let me just fix that really quick. So yeah, That's our 2019. This uses the original mold of the 2019 head still, before they changed it.
The good old days.
That's what it looks like there.
That is a pretty colorway. Wow.
And that's with, you know what, let's, for fun, let's shine some light through it. What do you think, Rob?
Please.
You want to see how it glows? Glow, baby,
yes.
Glow!
Glow,
So that's...
baby. Jesus, God in heaven.
It is full... Parts of it are, a lot of it's painted over, but you can see, the arms are completely translucent there, the head, the dorsals are really translucent, the tail is also translucent all the way to the tip. It's a gorgeous figure. If you guys are able to pick this up, get it.
Bro is head to toe Jordanian. My goodness.
Yeah, let me zoom in and we'll do that again. We'll do one more run through.
He got that Sonic Adventure ocean color bond.
There's that. Very cool. I saw somebody ask, is there any Haya figures that we can compare with? Did they also list which one?
Let's see. Figma Madoka comments. Noah just said any Hayas.
Any Haya. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go grab a Haya figure. Anything else that I can prepare our audience for?
I saw a minus Goji request.
We'll have to specify which one.
Orange Beam 2007. Which one? There's what? 3 now? 4 now?
There's we've got our -1 black and white. We've got the Heat Ray edition. We do not have the exclusive edition that was just announced. So that's a no-go. Sorry, I'm changing my lights really quick. My lights batteries are just now powering down, so let me just get these swapped out really quick.
Alrighty.
And then we'll bring out a Haya figure. They're kind of all in the same spot, so I don't know which one I'm going to be taking out.
Eeny, meeny,
might
miny,
be 2019, might be 2024. All right, let me get that in there. Get this over here. Okay. All right, lights are back on. All right, so we want a Haya figure, huh? Let's pull from the Haya display case. Is it Haya or Hia? Which one do you think it is?
I don't know. I've heard both being said. I'm just sticking with Haya because it's a nice greeting.
Like, hiya.
Hiya, how you doing? Although I wouldn't be surprised if it actually turns out officially being Hia. So
Okay, it looks like we're pulling out. I can't tell because it's a little dark where I'm at right now. It might be the King of the Monsters or it might be 2024. Oh, nope, it's actually 2021, so that's perfect.
great.
So this is the Haya 2021 figure.
V1, V2.
V2.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so this is Haya. So this is the Haya 2021 and the Mechagodzilla 2021.
Oh, that's a thick boy.
Yeah. And, Mechagodzilla is kind of leaning over a little bit more, but it's just this, it's a 7.5 inch figure. It's actually taller than Godzilla, but they actually scale quite well. For anybody that's a Haya fan and you want to pick up a Mechagodzilla, the MonsterArts is actually a good scale representative.
Since we don't know when, if Haya will be able to put one out themselves.
But yeah, definitely worth picking up, in my opinion, if you wanted that. So, what's another request? We had -1. Which -1 are we talking here?
They did not specify, and they.
I'm just gonna bring out. I'm just gonna bring out one.
All
I'll bring out the Heat Ray version that was for the Tamashii Nations 2024 edition. We'll bring that out.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's not one that I see very often because I don't own it.
That's right. So there's that one.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, this one's supposed to be smaller anyways, right?
Yeah, he's...
We turn on our brightness there, yeah.
I think he's 50 meters.
Yeah, this figure's a pretty cool figure, too.
Yeah. Those dorsals look awesome. At this rate, they'll announce the Haya Mechagodzilla 21 in 2028, and we'll get it in 2030.
Oh, my goodness. Is that a comment?
Yeah, that's a comment.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Joshua
boy.
Alonso. Yeah, maybe. What do you think we'll get first?
I think it's pronounced Haya
Godzilla?
Toys, yeah.
Hayatoy's Shin Godzilla or Hayatoy's Mechagodzilla 2021? Who's first?
Probably Shin Godzilla, honestly.
I
have the original -1 out here too, so let me just pop that into frame really quick.
Yeah.
So here's the original -1. What other size comparisons do we want to see?
Robo Lizard did jokingly say King Ghidorah 2019.
Oh, he said it jokingly, right?
He did. He said JK, JK.
Oh. I might bring it out anyways, just because. I'll tell you what, let's get Godzilla Earth out. And let's do Godzilla, let's do GMK. Let's compare GMK with it too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going into a store and just like going into a window shop. I'm just like, this Godzilla looks nice. I'll just get this one. So here is our first one we'll take out. This is the 2001 GMK Godzilla.
A goat.
I can't wait for this one to hit the new Graphic Movie Plus line.
You and I
Graphic
both.
Plus line. I think that one's going to have some really accurate paint job application on it. So I'm looking forward to that if it comes to it.
I just want an
there's
S.H.MonsterArts
Yeah, I liked the coloration they did on the Heat Ray version of GMK. I like the main body color on that one by comparison. I'm not too big of a fan of the dorsals on this GMK. And then here's our boy Godzilla Earth. Wow, look at that, Rob.
My guy. Look at him. Dancer's legs and the torso of a bowling ball. This is peak male performance right here.
They actually look really good together. I never thought about this. You know, it's hard to imagine certain characters from other movies when you pair them together, but these actually look good together.
Yeah, they do. And it's probably because anime Mechagodzilla just kind of laid there and became a city and killed people by existing.
Oh, maybe we should compare it to the anime Mechagodzilla. What do you think?
Yes.
Let's
Bandai
compare
Master
it.
Detail
Why
Movie
not?
Monster series. Yeah.
Or, even better,
You can do better.
than the movie monsters. Yeah, well, prepare yourself.
Oh boy. I like it though.
There it is.
That's probably
There it
probably accurate.
Yeah, you know, if you went with the scale, right? I think it was like 50 meters or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
I love
this
that
is from
designer.
that's from the Spirits design. So, but yeah, that's our teeny Mechagodzilla right there. We're gonna work our way to 2019 Ghidorah.
Oh,
We're gonna work
man.
our way to it. He's buried because I have him. He's so big in the display. He has to be in the back. So we will slowly but
Michael.
surely get to him. Yes.
Michael, Dorky Films has
Yes.
a question. What is
Sure.
the movie graphics line supposed to be?
It's a good question. I actually just posted a video about, or not a video, I posted an article that I translated for everybody. You guys can read that on any of my social media. It's an article that Tamashi just put out, kind of alluding to who everything is, what the line is dedicated to. But essentially, Movie Graphic Plus is dedicated to the casual consumer, the individual that will walk into a store that's never purchased a Godzilla figure before. They walk in, and what was explained to me talking to Tamashi was that they said, you know, a lot of people get confused about the details. What's the difference between 1989 Godzilla, 1991, and 1995? Even though there's clear color schemes that might differentiate them, just casual people just don't get it. So when they see the movie poster, that's something that they understand. They have seen that movie before, and they go, you know what? I remember that movie. I remember watching Godzilla versus Biollante. You know, I remember Shin Godzilla. Oh, this figure's really neat. Now, granted, Shin Godzilla is pretty easy to tell the difference, right? You know, I think anybody, even casual, knows what Shin Godzilla is and the difference.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how they're going to do this whole line. So that's who it's for. It's to the casual person that's walking into a store, because they're not going to be web exclusives. They're going to be general releases,
Awesome.
and they're just going to be in stores. That's what I'm told. So I'm busting this guy out for everybody. Flight stand and everything. There he is.
Jesus. A relic
King
of days
Ghidorah.
long past.
Yeah. Ginormous. This is the flight stand that actually came with the poster color version, but it works for the original. This is the original King Ghidorah on its flight stand.
Holy moly.
King Ghidorah is a big one, though.
Is there any possibility that the movie graphics line has any new releases that aren't just re-releases from Goji Wars?
The plan is that they're going to be reissues of the current existing stuff. They did not confirm that it's going to debut new figures. They're going to want to use those for the brand. They're going to use those for brand new. Brand new figures will be released within the standard Monster Arts line, while this line is going to just feature recolors. That's the idea of existing figures.
I think that's a pretty good idea, honestly.
Yeah. And the US will be able to piggyback off of those as well. So you'll be able to get those releases here in the United States just through normal retail. One thing to note, though, they are reflecting the current tariff prices, and we're still trying to learn and figure out how they're being implemented. But just to give you guys an example, the Shin Godzilla that's out there, that is being released in Japan, $1,100 or 1,100 yen increase. It's very minimal. That's about $7.60.
Oof.
And that's the difference between Night Combat, right? So, I'm really quick. I'm bringing out the original 2019 Godzilla.
Lovely gentlemen.
They look good together too.
They do.
So, but going back to what I was saying, Shin Godzilla, the New Awakening version in Japan, it's 1,100 yen increase, about $7.60 something cents, right? But in the U.S., it's nearly a $35 increase from the Night Combat's price. Night Combat was $150. Now it's $185. So that is an idea of just how the tariff is impacting the pricing in the United States. But it's kind of interesting because King Ghidorah 72 that came out was priced at 30,800 yen, but it was just a straight decimal move over and it's $300. So if they were doing the 30% tariff like I had anticipated, it should have been around the $364 range, but it wasn't. So perhaps with the larger figures, they may be eating some of the cost internally so that the customer doesn't have to pay so much for it. But for the smaller figures, they're the lesser expensive ones, maybe they're not going to eat the cost so much. And here is Burning Godzilla.
Oh, hey, look at that guy. Robo Lizard said they needed an excuse licensing-wise to re-release figs because Final Battle, Special Color version, and Poster Color versions can only go so far. The movie graphic version works.
Yeah, the movie graphic version. Yeah, so when we say licensing, let's be specific about that. When we talk about licensing, that has to do with the distributor. What we're talking about, though, in another way, is that the exclusives nature behind being like premium Bandai stuff cannot be reissued, right? So the Awakening Godzilla cannot be reissued with all the accessories and all that. It has to be a different paint job or something like that repackaged. It cannot be a one-to-one release. Now, say Awakening Godzilla was going to be released in standard Monster Arts form, yes, it would have had all those accessories, maybe one less than the other ones, but it's kind of hard to predict. But the idea behind the movie graphic plus line is that it's bare bones stuff because the casual consumer, they just want the figure. The poster art helps identify it. That's kind of it. So anything that's coming out of the future, I'd be surprised if they include any extra actual accessory pieces.
All right. I just want Awakening Godzilla, so they can keep the heat right
get a good rep of that, right?
Yeah. I only have a few. That's not right.
Okay, this is Robo Lizard's fault. He made me do this because he joked about it, but I'm calling him out on the joke. We're bringing out 2019 Ghidorah, the original release.
Oh dear.
So here he is.
His butt fell out.
Yeah, it did. But that's okay. So there is King Ghidorah.
Oh.
His heads are out of the frame. Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's huge. I do have the Hayo one, the first release, but it's still in its box. I never took it out, and I'm probably never going to take it out because now they're doing their 2.0 after they did the Gravity version of it.
Yeah, so I think.
What's the point?
I think that's the 3. I think that's the 3.0 now, because they did even more new tooling with it.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they updated the neck so they can go all the way down.
Wow. What else do we want to see Mechagodzilla paired with? Any other requests?
I saw a Mechagodzilla 74 in there somewhere.
I've got Mechagodzilla 74. I've got that figure. Why not? You know what? And just for kicks, because Anguirus is a recent release, I'll bring Anguirus out too.
Do it. How come Bandai doesn't
Replace-
reissue their Bandai Premium stuff like Awakening Shin so the movie graphics can come with the accessories that the original did? Huh.
Well, I understand the question. The subline, its intention is not to come with all the bells and whistles. It's supposed to be bare bones and the poster. That's it. It's not intended to be something that the core collector is supposed to get. It's supposed to be open for everybody else. But they changed the colors so that if the core collector does want it, they have the ability to double dip. But 10th year of anniversary for Shin Godzilla is going to be next year, so I don't think we're going to be done seeing Shin Godzilla still. I think they've got more Shin stuff lined up.
They better.
I think that's the big takeaway with Movie Graphic Plus line is that if you don't have these figures, then it's an easy skip. It's not meant for you. It's meant for the casual person that's going to walk into a store. They're actually not bad. I like the way that these two look together.
Yeah. It's more in scale with Anguirus than all 74 is at all.
Right? And let's bring out 1974 Mechagodzilla. Remember, this is a smaller figure because it was in the previous Showa scale within the line. It stands at, I think it's like 5.75 inches tall. Yeah, so he's a small humdinger.
The look on his face is like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Is this what I look like in the future? What? Are you my dad?
Daddy, do I look like your dad?
Right.
Yes.
Let me see here. Oops. What other kinds? Let's do two more comparisons. We're gonna be slowing things down. Let's do two more comparisons.
I just saw King Ghidorah 2019.
Oh, I see somebody asking this. Did you blackwash that 74? Is this my custom? Let me take a closer look. Yes, this is my custom that I did. So it's got black wash throughout the sculpt. Makes it's not so dirty. I have a clean version of it, and then I have this version too. What else do we want to take a look at? Yeah, it looks a lot better.
It does. 2019.
Two
King
more
Ghidorah
requests.
2019 King Ghidorah special color.
Guys, that one is like all the way in the back of my case. Okay, I can't do that one today. We're running out of time. Another time with that figure. It's all the way in the back.
Two more requests, guys.
Two more requests.
Why is there no Odo Island Godzilla yet? I get the scale thing, but the scale changed constantly. Showa, for example, and it's the only non-repaint they haven't done yet. From Goji Wars.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see it. We'll see. They did the smaller forms for the Shin Godzilla, so I don't see why we wouldn't see Odo eventually.
Gigan.
I don't think the ride with -1 is over yet, so Gigan.
No,
okay, we'll bring out Gigan. Let's bring out Gigan. Which Gigan? 72 or 2004?
Oh yeah, J Swan 74 or.
I'm bringing out 72 anyways because I think that's the one that they wanted to know. But here's 72 Gigan.
Nice. And then the one right after that was 93 Mecha G.
Sorry, what was that?
93 Mecha G.
That's nice. We'll bring that one out. I'm going to bring out the latest version of Super Mechagodzilla.
Latency be damned. He said Gigan 2004.
Yeah, if you guys are requesting ones that have different iterations, you got to specify the year because we've got them all. Here is the latest Makuhari version of Mechagodzilla.
He looks cool. I don't normally say that about that guy.
It's got that bluish finish to it where it's that cool color of silver. I think this is the best one though. If you guys haven't gotten this figure, You gotta get it. It's the best representation of this character.
Don't tempt me, Michael.
And it's still available.
Oh wait,
They look good together though.
Oh,
And then
he did.
he said he wanted 2004.
Yeah, he did specify Final Wars. I didn't read the whole comment. Show me Gigan Final Wars. That's on me then. That is
That's all right. I got you.
1,000% on me.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I got it. You just all you gotta do is just say what you want to see, except for King Ghidorah's special colors and stuff like 2019. Those are in the back of my case. I have to pull all that out.
Oh damn!
All right, and then this is the first version of Gigan 2004, not the Great Decisive Battle version. Look at that. They could go toe to toe, you know.
They definitely could. As for who will win, Gigan cut his own head off. So,
yeah.
But then again, Mechagodzilla is technically Kevin. I believe it was.
They relate in such a way.
They're both.
Oh, let's see here. All right, one last one. Let's make it a good one, guys. Let's make it a good one.
Last one, fams.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the last one because I don't think people are thinking about this guy, but I'm going to bring this one out. All right? I promise it's going to be a good one for everybody.
Okay.
Can't complete it without another Mechagodzilla, right?
Oh, what is he going to do? Oh, nobody was expecting that.
That's right. This is the poster art version of Mechagodzilla. So this is a Monster Arts. They call this one, for anybody that doesn't know, this is a Tamashii mix figure where it combines the build styles of Monster Arts and Chogokin into one figure. So this figure actually transforms.
Transformers.
And the backpack, the Garuda on the backpack, the original Garuda here, it comes off and everything. It's very ratchet jointy in a lot of places. Try to get the tail down.
Why did he bring out Mecha G2 again?
I know, right? What? Yeah. So, but that's our poster version of Mechagodzilla.
It's a cool figure.
I really dig this design. If we actually got this as Mechagodzilla in the movie, that would have been so cool.
I agree. I prefer this one. Shame it'll never be re-released.
And you know what? I'll do a bonus just for everybody. I'm going to get a Kiryu out.
There you go, guys.
All the other Mechagodzillas so far. We're going to get a Kiryu. We'll do heavy armed version of Kiryu. So when we talk about dark paint apps on a Mechagodzilla, this one is by far the darkest. Maybe people would think that this is what Mechagodzilla 2021 Final Battle Edition should have looked like. There's some similarities to it, but there's definitely more weathering effects in this figure by comparison.
Oh, yeah.
So there is your Final Battle Edition of Kiryu. Compared to Mechagodzilla. I always have mine posed with the Terminator eye.
You gotta. It's too iconic.
But you know what? They do have that similar gunmetal style, though. You can see it when you're looking at both of them like that. You can see that. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna put the GVK cast back up here with the effects. Give me 1 second. We're gonna put the Pom Pom Godzilla back up here, Mechagodzilla up here.
Kevin would be a cheerleader.
Right. And then what do you think? Let's keep it in proper theme, right? Let's do the event exclusive Kong, and we'll do the 2021 Godzilla. So here's our 2021 Godzilla.
Colgate.
And we'll do a fun pose with Kong here. Maybe. You know what? I'm not going to do it. Not today. Not today. We'll put Kong. We're going to put Kong right there. He's like, ew.
I'm not touching that.
I don't like that guy. He smells of asphalt, man. Okay, so there's our GX. Here is our GX or GV. I'm so used to saying GXK whenever we talk about these guys. It's GVK. So there they are, all splayed out. So let's wrap this up. Rob, how much time you got left?
As much time as you need, my guy.
Okay, all right. So at this point in the stream, guys, the stream is over if we're not doing any more comparisons and all that stuff. However, we are going to stick around and just do some Q&A. Just for fun, we're going to wind down a little bit. Whew. We're going to wind it down. We'll do some Q&A. Ask any questions for both of us if you'd like. Anything about the lines, other things, we're here. We'll do this for like 20 more minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and call it a wrap.
Indeed. Indubitably.
We'll do some comment acknowledging here. Rob and Tass, what is your favorite Godzilla, Gamera, or Ultraman movie? Godzilla, Gamera, or Ultraman movie or show? Okay. You know what? I would have to say... I mean, it's so tough. There's so many to choose from. If I were to... The way I'm going to break this down is which one will I put in and just watch over and over again and thoroughly enjoy over and over again, right? So I think out of all the movies that I like to watch over and over again is Terror of Mechagodzilla. There's just so much special effects destruction, and it makes me smile every time. Okay, what's the next question here? What did you say for your favorite movie?
Okay, I don't want anybody to come for me, but one of my favorite Godzilla movies to watch over and over and over and over again is the U.S. cut of Godzilla's Revenge. I'm sorry.
Really?
I love that.
That's an interesting
movie.
choice. Wow.
I
don't think I've ever met anybody that said that that's their favorite. You're the first.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm kind of going with like what you said. It's like, okay, what Godzilla movie could I pop in and enjoy? Like if I had to watch it every day for a week, it's like, yes, I could say Shin Godzilla because I'm Shin Rob Jira and I love Shin Godzilla. But saying that all the time gets boring. So it's like, what's the other movie that I would watch over and over again? It's Godzilla's Revenge.
Yep, that's it. Incredible. So. Orange Beam, the closest thing to Transformers and Monsters. Yep. I was really hoping that they would make Mogira transform, but I think the transforming gimmicks is just stuck with Chogokin. So maybe in the future there might do a Mogira crossover with that. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I regret not getting this guy. Was working a Bluefin booth too. Oh. Yay. Hell yeah. Oh, some celebration over that figure, huh?
Heck yeah.
That was the poster Godzilla right there. Okay. Handsome group of guys. I really hope Tamashi gets a reissue of this guy. You know what? That was a web exclusive. If they ever reissue it, it has to be a different paint application or come with additional effects, but it can't be one-to-one. This is the poster Mechagodzilla. All right, we just asked that question. Let's see, they scale pretty well. How was your day? Good 4th of July? Yeah, I mean, mine was, I was working. On the 4th of July. I didn't get to relax until I got home. So what'd you do, Rob? Did you do anything fun?
I grilled all day, had some family over, and yeah, drank, ate, shot the breeze.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you're forced to destroy 5 monsters. Which one would be getting the boot? Do I have to? Do I have to destroy them? Man, okay. I would destroy. If I destroy the evolution set, does that count for 3 automatically?
Understandable.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the how the original Destroyer set evolution set came up. So I would be okay with getting rid of that. I wouldn't mind destroying the 2019 Ghidorah. That it's not accurate to the movie, but I would get rid of that one too, I guess. What's another
Same.
one? Let's see here. I'm looking at my list of things right here. Let me see the whole list of monsters. So that's just 2 so far, right? The evolution set, and I would also get rid of the Night Color edition of 2019 Godzilla. Don't need
Which
that one in
one,
my
though?
life. Oh, it's the Night Color.
Wait, isn't there 2 of them now?
There's so there's regular 2019, and then there's the Color Night edition that you can get from the Tamashii store. That's the one I'm talking about. You don't need that one.
Uh,
I don't need that one.
yeah, nobody
That was
does.
just like a store exclusive. It's a store exclusive. You've got to have them all. Go for it. But other than that, it's an inferior mold for the head. So skip, easy skip. So that's 3, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else would I get rid of? I would also get rid of. Scrolling through my list. I would get rid of the 2014 poster version of Godzilla. I
Cheeto
don't really
dust?
like that one. Yeah, I don't really like that one. It looked better in the promo than how it actually turned out. So I don't want that one. I would destroy that one too. I don't need that. And then that's 4, right? One more to get rid of.
Yeah, one more. Go
Who
for it.
would we get rid of? One more. Looking. I would definitely crush. I'm gonna find one that's like controversial, right?
Do it.
I would. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to crush Godzilla Ultima.
Whoa! Whoa,
Yeah.
buddy.
So, yep. And the reason I would crush that one is because out of all the SP figures, that one doesn't use the CGI model. It's a hand sculpted version of the character. The
Oh,
SP Rodan uses 3D model. So does the SP Jet Jaguar, but Godzilla SP, because of production and everything, they were not able to use it. They did have the guy who sketched Godzilla Ultima involved in the production process, but when it came to sculpting, I mean, the body looks great, right? The body looks good. It's just the head. The head doesn't look good. The head that's opened, pre-posed opened, looks great.
yeah.
But the one that just standard opens and closes, it just doesn't look that great, in my opinion. So I would smash that too.
Understandable.
Okay. That took a lot. That took a lot to come up with. 5. I could do 2 easy, but 5, oh my god. Let's see here. Will any of this new line do retooling, resizing, or will they just do repaints? So I'm assuming we're talking about Movie Graphics Plus. The way it's been explained to me is that it's existing figures that are going to be made available to the casual consumer. It doesn't sound like they're going to get any upgrades. There might be some figures that do get some retooling, some very old figures. Like we're talking like maybe Godzilla 1994. If they ever do that figure, it has to be a 2.0. It cannot be regular. If it does, I will go, yeah, I will pull up Bandai's phone number. I will say, what are you doing? Because that out of all the figures that need a 2.0, that one has to have it. That one has to have it. No discussion. Godzilla 1964 needs to be also it needs to be brought up in size too. Same thing with yeah. Those are the only 2 that I could see being retooled. All the other figures though, like I know that we know that 2014 Godzilla is coming in this line, but I don't think it's going to get retooled. I think it's just going to be re-released.
Mm, I could see
I'd
that.
say that the retools are very retools and resizing are very low on that list because the idea is it's just a recolor. That's all they're going for. But things
Mm.
can change. We'll see. Rob, do you have any intel on anything MMS past the MKG 2.0? This past year has felt rather dull. I don't know,
Uh,
Rob. You've been pretty busy with the line, haven't you?
yeah, I have. I know we're getting Godzilla 1989 with the Super X. That's going to be a standard wide release. Um, Finally showed off Flying Godzilla. We're probably going to end up seeing 89 and Mecha King Ghidorah 2.0. I want to say later on in August because I think those are slated for the fall. So we'll probably get a
Okay.
reveal around then. Other than that, I haven't heard anything from my sources, and when it comes to exclusives, they need to be revealed for me to know anything. But yeah, 89 with the Super X, and what was the other one? Shit, I lost it.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's just so much.
Yeah, there is. Also, if there was anything that was upcoming, you couldn't really talk about it anyways, if you knew about it
Yeah,
secretly.
yeah, secretly. But if there's listings for it, it's like okay, everybody who looks
Yeah, we'll talk
knows.
about it.
But yeah, but there's some things I'm not at liberty to say.
Noah says, banger choice, Rob. Banger choice.
Thank you, fellow
User.
Godzilla's
Welcome,
Revenge enjoyer.
user. Welcome, user. Join the stream late. Would you say this version is worth... You know what? I don't even think I even said my thoughts about that. If I were to recommend between the original and the Final Battle Edition, hands down, Final Battle Edition is the figure to get. It's $10 more than the US MSRP. It comes with all those extra parts. Despite the tail being loosey-goosey, I think it's a solid entry, and I think I'm going to be displaying that in my case over the original. So the original, that's going to go somewhere else in a different display, but as the primary display, I will be swapping out the Final Battle Edition. I think it looks really cool. So I do recommend picking this one up, though. If you do happen to find it, definitely grab it. Question: does the SH-29 special color is it still worth getting, even if you have any of the Haya? I mean, if you like the gimmick of being a transparent figure and everything, it's also unique because it's never going to be ever done ever again. So this gets into the whole collectible aspect of it, right? More than just the Godzilla itself. I think that it is a neat figure to have. I personally am not a big fan of heat ray versions of these characters. I like their standard looks, but it is a pretty sweet figure. So if you're able to find it, like I said earlier, you can get it on Mandarake loose, either in the box by itself or not attached to the movie set. You can actually get it for a pretty good price by comparison.
Agreed.
My favorite Godzilla movie is GMK Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Yo, that is also Kaiju Canuck's favorite movie.
It's one of my favorites,
you guys should be
too.
friends.
That's my favorite
It's
score.
not my favorite. It's not my favorite. With score
Really?
or anything. It's
really
controversial take. It is towards the bottom of my hit list when it comes to Millennium movies. But I do love everything Baragon in that movie. I love all the Baragon scenes.
Yeah, they were great. Do you love when he gets when he gets exploded by Godzilla being a meanie?
I was so sad when that happened, but it was so funny at the same time. The whole look like,
like, oh shit.
Uh-oh. It was like a Scooby Doo ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Reggie. Pain.
Yeah. My wife was watching it with me, and she goes, for the first time, she's like, no, not Baragon. Baragon's her favorite monster, so I knew what was coming, but she didn't, and we were watching it together, and she was so heartbroken that Baragon bit the dust.
Aww.
But she was happy to see that Baragon's spirit was embodied into King Ghidorah towards the end of the movie, so.
He lives on in our hearts.
Godzilla Revenge is kind of the greatest hits album. Depends on who you ask, right?
It's true.
It does have it's a clip show movie in a sense, right? But it does still have its own original content at the same time. All the Gabra stuff is all original, so
yeah.
I did enjoy
and I
enjoyed all those
love Gabra.
the Gabra scenes.
Yeah. And it's just that Evren Jareb theme that they used for the US cut that also really gets me. I think it's called Crime Wave.
Mm-hmm.
I love that piece of music too.
Oh yeah.
So
How come sorry, I'm skipping ahead. FYI, as owner of the SH 2019 and Haya Ghidorah, the Haya version is so much better. Of course, it looks a lot better, right? even I'm assuming even the articulation is probably more stable than the 2019 SH Monster Arts. You just have to understand the reason, the why the SH Monsters looks the way it is because that King of the Monsters was so notorious for changing everything up until like a month before it was released in theaters. So the version that they were given on concept art looked nothing like what we got in the movie. They even brought in Shinichi Wakasa to sculpt that King Ghidorah based off of the production materials. And he even says it in the special features of the Japanese version of the King of the Monsters disc. He even says, like, I didn't know what it was going to look like, so I just did my best. And I think it looked good for what it was. Right?
I didn't know
I think it
Wakasa
does
did
look
the
good.
sculpt for that.
Yeah, Shinichi Wakasa did King Ghidorah 2019. So
Wow. Damn.
that's his take on what it could have looked like, right? But obviously, it looks nothing like that in the movie.
No.
Dorky Films, how come in Japan, whenever there's a premium release, it's like hard to track down or it's a lottery sale, but in the US we can just go to Amazon or whatever and just grab it? That is a very good question, and I have the answer to that for you, Dorky Films. So one of the big things you have to remember is that Japan is a different market and has different rules within their collectible hobby that Bandai has set up in Japan. For the United States, there are similar rules for certain figures. For example, like Dragon Ball Z or the Dragon Ball line, they do have Bandai Premium USA figures where you cannot buy them here at like Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store. But it's different for Godzilla. And that is because, and this is what they explained to me, the Godzilla consumer in the United States is consistent compared to all of the other lines that they do. They can always bank on Godzilla selling within all their lines. So because of that, Bandai Tamashii Nations has made an exception that their premium Bandai releases can be sold in the US as general retail, which is really cool because in Japan, as soon as the pre-order closes for premium Bandai releases, that's it. It's already in the aftermarket. Anybody that's selling it after the pre-order window closes in Japan, they're already aftermarket valuing the figure. So, but here in the United States, after it gets released, we have some time to get it still. And depending on how many people order it, it's allocated. So if you get a lot of people pre-ordering, they're going to get a lot more over here. If you don't get a lot of people pre-ordering, they're going to not bring as much over here. But the point is that you'll still have access to getting it. Some figures sell out very fast, though, in the United States, depending on the popularity of the character. Like -1 first figure, that sold out. Before it even was actually released, it was already sold out. No retailer basically had it after its release. Only pre-orders were the only things that got shipped. Even the Godzilla 2000 Millennium, same thing happened to that. And the first Kiryu, about maybe a week or two, and it was already sold out. So it just depends on the popularity. But that is why they're brought over the way that they are in the US.
Damn.
Yeah, Rob just got a lesson right there.
Yeah, I just learned something. Jesus.
Yeah. Dude could have picked up the recolors of the 2019 mold Brutal.
For you getting rid of your S.H. Monster Arts, that's right. I was confused for a second.
Oh yeah, the recolor of the 2019. I did though. I picked the the color edition of that to destroy.
I think bro's just saying you could have just picked all of the recolors.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, 2024 Godzilla is still kind of exciting, and even though I'm not a big fan of that one, it's more exciting than the 2019 Night Color. Not Ultima.
That's true.
I'm sorry. We're catching up with chat here. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Ultima. Let's see here. Fair got Ultima. He's been sitting in the box since I regretted that purchase pretty immediately. Yo, I mean, it's still a good figure by any means. Like, it's very articulated and it works very well. It's just, it's got a fugly face. That's all. No, don't give Godzilla Ultima the boot. Yeah, it's been booted. I'm done. I'm done with it. We need a 2.0 list of Godzilla figures. I'm assuming you meant like a list of Godzilla figures that need a 2.0? That's what it sounds like. Maybe. If we're talking about them doing old figures, I mean, 2014 is in the promo images. Yes, it is in the promo. It's blurred out, but we don't know if it's going to be retooled or not. When I was talking to folks over there at Bandai, it sounds like they're not going to go that direction, but it's entirely possible that they could do it for some older figures that are like really, really old in the line. Like we're talking like the 1994 Godzilla is probably the biggest contender to get actually a new sculpt and retooled.
Which would be fire.
He's Godzilla. He's gonna call himself. Oh boy. Let's see here. Tass, what's? Oh wait, are we ever gonna get 2.0 figures in this line, MonsterArts? I don't think so. I think one of the big things that they've always said is that producing Godzilla is hard and it's very expensive compared to their other lines like Dragon Ball, anything that's humanoid really. It's just much more expensive to make. And so when they go and remake a figure, I mean, you're not using an existing mold to pump out to make money off of that. You're effectively making new mold. And new molds being made now, they're expensive compared to anything that's being reissued. Those molds were made and everything, so the price doesn't go up as much with those. But I mean, look at King Ghidorah in 1972. That's a brand new mold made in the last year, and it costs a lot. You know, even before the whole tariff situation kicked in, it probably would have been about a $260 figure already. So it's just, even Anguirus was $140 out the gate. It's gotten so expensive to make new stuff. Anything that's going to be a new character, a new release, is going to have a bigger price tag compared to anything that's existing that's being a repaint or decisive battle version. Anything that's going to be a brand new mold moving forward is going to be at least over $100 for sure. Expect it. Noah Armstrong, Tass, what's one Godzilla kaiju you want introduced into the MonsterArts line the most? I mean, at this point, realistically, I want to see Titanosaurus in the line. Dream figure, give me Baggin. I want Baggin. How about you, Rob? What would you like to see in the MonsterArts? Give me a dream figure and give me a realistic figure.
Dream figure, Dad Goji from Son of Godzilla. Realistic. 1975 Mechagodzilla with removable head. He's got his little bubble head. Yeah.
I would love that one too, realistically. Both of those are good choices. Choice cuts right there. I have the High Toys Godzilla 2014 and pre-evolved Godzilla 20. Good job, man. Glad that you got them. Hope you enjoy them. I have them too. I think Rob's got them too, right? Both of them?
Which ones?
2014 and pre-evolved 2024 High Toys?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got those guys too. They're good. They're good. I love them.
They're fun.
Orange Beam. I would love to see Ultima in the movie graphics new line with accurate head, but I don't mind if they kept it. Yeah, I don't think it'll have any updated head sculpts if they do it. I think they will introduce it, and I think they'll reintroduce... oh, you're going to like this, Rob. I think they're going to reintroduce Godzilla Earth, but I think it might be the Scarlet version.
Bro, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Planet Eater, right there. Give it to us.
Guys, I'm sorry if that's what happens. Video's going to be 38 minutes long. Calling it right
Fearsome
now.
Godzilla has evolved to become more powerful than ever and join the Mighty Kong. Sure. Task audio got turned down. Oh, you know what? I was messing with the slider. It should be fine now.
Sound fine to me.
I turned it down because I was peaking for some reason on my end, and I turned it down for a second, but now it should be good. If it's still low, let me know in the chat. Thank you. You're welcome, man. Praying for a Showa release in the G store or something in the next weeks or something. 2023 spoiled movie monsters collector. Since then, I don't feel like it has hit the same way.
Yeah, 2023 was huge, just for the Showa reps, and with the way that Bandai handles things, it's like every Showa rep that we've had as a wide release thus far, if they do another version of that, it's just going to be an exclusive. Because, I mean, look at Dancing 65. That's your wide release. Bandai Premium gets the standard standing version. We got 2002 Godzilla. 2003 Godzilla with a closed mouth, scar on his chest. Bandai Premium exclusive box set with a corpse. You know, so when it comes to other versions of that, It's like if it already has a wide release, it's like everything further is going to be an exclusive.
For
And
sure.
I don't like it, but I understand why. Because it's
Makes
all
sense.
just, I think it's just in sales. It's like, okay, we already released this version. Only super fans of this design or just the franchise in general are going to go out and get that exclusive. So we're going to limit that to a smaller print with an exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree. More Showa would be nice. Dad Goji, come
Yeah,
on!
for sure. Imagine getting a release with Manila on its shoulders. That's
Oh,
just one
dude.
release. That'd be pretty
If
cool.
that's the wide release and it's a posing release with Minya on his shoulders, it's done. Like, dude, I would not be upset at all. It's perfect.
Throw in the towel at that point. You've got your dream figure. No.
Well, then at that point, it's like, okay, well, now I need him in the standard version. Now I need a movie monster series of small Minya looking like a grape just coming out of an egg. Like, then it's
That's
just
right.
like sky's the limit because it's like this exists, you
Yeah.
know?
All right. We got Baragon the goat. Thank you. Yeah, Baragon is the goat. Gabra stuff is original. Guess you guys forgot Godzilla versus the Bully Monster 1960. Oh, wow. Never forget the MV designs for Rodan, Ghidorah, Mothra were revealed through the SHMA figures. Yeah, that happened. That was at, I think it was Tokyo Comic Con is when it took place, I think. And they revealed the monster designs through them first before they did the movie. So that was kind of a unique experience, wasn't it?
That was
Can
that was a moment.
Yeah, it was. Can Tamashi relay the research to other Bandai divisions because of how many movie monsters is locked behind Bandai Premium? Uh, they're different lines, man. Even if the research of what's popular with monster arts or movie monsters, like they're different products, different demographics, different type of people that collect it. Even though there's overlap, generally speaking, what's released in movie monsters isn't a guarantee that it's going to be a hit with the crowd of monster arts either.
Mm.
And vice versa. So I think that there's more forgiveness with movie monsters to touching into casting a wider net of characters versus monster arts, because monster arts, like they said, like they're much more expensive to create.
I agree.
I swear, if we get Kong 62, it'll be a Bandai Premium movie monster series. I don't even know what's going on with that.
I I when it comes to King Kong versus Godzilla, I don't see Godzilla. Oh, for one thing, I don't see them doing a Godzilla without a Kong. I just have a feeling that Toho would want to do them together. And either way, I don't think they're going to be wide releases. I think they're going to be exclusives. I don't know about Bandai Premium though. I think they're going to be Godzilla store exclusives, if anything. But at the same
Yeah.
time, King Kong versus Godzilla was a really, really big deal for Toho, so they might end up as wide releases. But
Hmm.
it just comes down to that whole licensing thing with King Kong. Like, it's Toho's iteration, but it's the name. I don't know. It's just with the way that it's been this year, I feel like everything's going to be an exclusive at some point.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think that there's not as much red tape around King Kong 1962 as there used to be, because they did reissue, or they did do the 4K movie, right? And they had all this promotional artwork and everything that came with it.
Oh, they
In terms
did.
of
That's
figures, we
right.
haven't seen anything, but I think that they can do it. It's just that they're choosing not to, and that also might have to do with global sales, because maybe there's restrictions that they can only sell that product in Japan and they can't distribute it beyond that. Maybe they want to do that to get more money out of it, but that's something that can be considered.
Oh, so it would be Godzilla
So, for example,
1998 all over again.
something like that. But like so that's why here in the United States, like I think Criterion got King Kong versus Godzilla, right?
Uh,
In the big set that they did.
y- yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty
So, but
sure.
that
Yeah.
was through a special deal to get that, and they had to go through Universal to get that to work. So it's the same
Mm.
thing. If we did a Monster Arts version of 1962 King Kong, they want to bring it over
Fire.
here. But they don't have to. They can just make it a premium Bandai exclusive, and if the licensors in Universal don't agree with it, it will not come to the United States. It will just stay in Japan. Thankfully, we have ways to get it here, but that's a possibility.
Just
Uh,
like Godzilla
who is the
98.
ugliest? Who is the ugliest and most good-looking MonsterArts figure? The
Mm,
ugliest?
the
Oh, jeez.
ugliest? 2019 King Ghidorah standard. Far as I go.
I don't know about that. That being the ugliest, it might be. It might be ugliest paint application.
Oh yeah, because that guy, yeah. Mm-mm. But that's just from
Yeah,
my
I'm just kind of.
collection.
Yeah,
I can't speak
I'm
for
like
Michael.
scrolling through. I know, right? I'm scrolling through my list and everything, and I don't know. I'll side with that. The 2019 King Ghidorah, it's like not, it's not anything special. I was gonna say Destroy Evolution set, but it's got a good sculpt. It's just that my figures that I had, they when I did the review for them, they had paint chipping like crazy. It was like the first moment where the paint was just like, "Yo, what's going on here?"
Oh
And that was back in
no.
2013. Yeah,
Whew.
but then I picked up another set of after I did my review, I picked up another set, and the paint was fine on it. So just maybe I had a dud set the first time around.
Could be. It does
Yeah, and
happen.
as far as good looking, I think the best looking one would probably be like the most handsome looking one has to be the 1989 Triple K figure. Definitely the most handsome looking right there.
Godzilla Earth for me.
Hey, no, that's a good one too.
He's a good boy. I
Tass,
can't
it
help
would be
it.
funny if you just walked up to CEO of Bandai and just said, "You're fired and take over." Then truly, you will be Bandai. But then I can't wear my shirt. I can't wear my shirt anymore.
Well, but then it would be ironic,
Yes,
which makes it funny.
it's true. That's true. If you could choose any SH monsters to have glow in the dark feature, which would it be? I think the Ava Godzilla, the Ava
Yeah,
featuring Godzilla, that would have looked sick with glow in the dark paint apps on it.
agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up with the chat at this point. Monstars Megalon, when I'd pay 300 for my goat, we're not going to spend 300 on that. No, not unless it came with like all these accessories. But I don't think it'll be that high. King Ghidorah is an exception because it's like, I mean, it's King
Massive.
Ghidorah, right? And it's got all
Mm.
these. It's a big figure. I've seen some people saying it's a smaller figure. It's not smaller. It's the same size as the 1991 Ghidorah. They're both 9.8 inches tall, so it's still a rather large figure. Roughly how much do you think new molds cost? Oh, I don't even know, dude. Not even off the top of my head. I couldn't even tell you. Just as metal block, not R&D, and any idea how long they last. So, in talking with Brian Flynn and even some people over at Bandai, like these injection molds, they're meant to last a very long time and multiple, like thousands upon thousands of injections. It's why they pay a lot of money for it. Now, I do know that there's different qualities that you can get with these molds and stuff, but from what I'm told is that they can last like decades of use. So,
No, no wonder these things are
yeah.
so friggin' expensive. Jesus.
Like I think with Super 7, Brian Flynn was saying that they're using the original molds that were used for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures back in the 90s, right?
Yes, which is awesome.
So, and they still look like they're brand new today. Like if you didn't know that, you would be like, "Oh yeah, it's a new figure, right? A redone figure." It's the same mold though. They're meant to last a long time.
Mm.
Uh Titanosaurus and Bagon the goats. Yes, sir. Megalon for sure. Godzilla wise, need 84. Gemstone to be made. Yeah, those are good choices. I
Mm.
really want to see Megaguirus join Monster Arts. Well, let's see. I have a feeling that she would be one of the best looking figures in the line. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Megaguirus is sharp, very sharp.
extremely.
And now that we've got Godzilla 2000 from Megaguirus coming out, it's made the possibility of getting Megaguirus so much closer to getting that. So cross your fingers. Maybe next year or the year after that, we'll see what happens. I believe Godzilla 2000 is coming out what day? It's coming out September in Japan. Let's see what happens. Solicitation around Japan time. Let's see what happens around its release. Maybe shortly after that, we might see a Megaguirus announcement. Let's see how it goes. They like to pair these
Godzilla Day.
figures together. If you get Godzilla 2000, yo, that would be dope. Getting that, I think it'd be announced sooner though if they did that. But like I was saying, they like to pair these releases together with figures. So if you get Godzilla 2000 from Megaguirus itself is not far behind. Ooh. Is redoing the underscaled Showa figures on their radar? We're going to ask that question when we're at San Diego Comic-Con. I've asked this in the past, but it's been a while. It's been at least 3 or 4 years since I asked that question, and at the time they said no. Maybe that has changed. I will ask that question when I'm there this year, though. Did Task just admit to cheating on Bandai with Haya? Listen, I'm not beholden to Bandai products. You know, I like to collect. I'm a collector just like all y'all, right? I just like the MonsterArts line the best, and that's mainly because that's just what I've always wanted as a kid, was just something that was super articulated, and they look just pretty close to what they look like in the movies, right? This is always what I wanted. Haya came onto the street like, what, 2 years ago, and they do good product. You know, don't get me wrong. The reason why I'm purchasing the MonsterVerse stuff is because of how accurate they are to the CGI models. They get to use the final CGI files, so yeah, I want a representative that looks just like that. I still enjoy the MonsterArts versions of those characters, though, because of how hyper-articulated they are. But I'm not... I mean, I have other figures, too, besides I have, like, some Gashapon in here. I've got some movie monsters. I even have some X Plus in here. I have only 2 X Plus. I don't have a lot of storage for a lot of this stuff, but I'm not bound to just one line. But this is the line that I enjoy the most, is MonsterArts. Robo-Lizard, stop it!
Scandal.
It's not a scandal. It's not a scandal. Do you know if MonsterArts Heater did well financially? I know you're not Bandai, just curious. I mean, here's the thing. I couldn't tell you numbers. Even if I knew the numbers, I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you what you can look at is sales. Sorry, not sales, but how long they last on the shelf before they're sold out, right? That's a good way to tell. And for the most part, Hedera is mostly sold out a lot of the smaller retail shops. It's still available at some of our bigger ones like Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon. It's mostly sold out at this point, though. You can still get it at MSRP. In Japan, different story. In Japan, as soon as the pre-order window closed for it, that's it. There was nothing left. So the only financials they have is it's completely internal at this point, whether it sold really well or not. Because it's a Bandai Premium exclusive. Was there ever a reason to given why S.H. line hadn't done the Angels from Evangelion? That was due to licensing. They wanted to do it. They showcased it at a toy fair or something like that. I forget what it was. But the licensors had a disagreement with them, so they did not get made for the S.H. MonsterArts line. That's why they do not exist.
And now they're in the Reveltech line.
Yep.
Go figure.
Yep. So, doesn't sound like it's a property that they can pursue because of those licensing issues. Kong 62 would for sure be like 98, where it would be sold outside of won't be sold outside of Japan. Probably. It's probably going to be something like that.
Yeah, more than likely.
Send him to Godzilla, Glazer, and Gunner gang? Sure.
I don't even know what that
is. I don't even know. Ugliest, I would say the original 2016 release of Shin Godzilla. Yeah, I mean, that was the sharpest version of the figure because it didn't have that much paint on it. As the more figures have been released that have more paint on them, the more globbed on it, like the teeth for Night Combat is a lot. It's not degradation. It's a lot of paint on the teeth. That's what it is.
I can't speak on that.
Goji Wars feels like... Well, you can a little bit, Rob, because you have orthochromatic Shin, right?
Oh,
and
yes.
It doesn't have that much paint on the teeth.
Yeah, and those teeth are pretty good.
They appear sharper.
Yes.
Yeah, they appear sharper than Night Combats because there's not that much paint by comparison. It still has paint, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Feels like we've been getting brand new designs in SH a lot lately. 89, 04, 91, 72, 2000. Wonder what's next, 84, 75. I think we're due for another Showa. What do you think?
I would be ecstatic if it was 75 Goji.
Yeah, because we've already got a Millennium that's coming this year. We've got, 89 and we got 95. I think we're due for another Showa. So either
Yeah.
74 or 75, maybe 74.
Or 65. Mm.
They're just not into the 60s yet. We gotta finish the 70s first, I think, before we get into the 60s. Unfortunately,
True, true. And even then, I'm
I
not
would pay.
complaining because 75. Yeah,
Yes, yes, please. I would take 75 over 74 if they did that. I'd be so happy. I would pay so much money for a glow in the dark Burning Godzilla. Yeah, I can see that. Burning Godzilla would look. I don't know. I'd rather an LED Burning Godzilla than glow in the dark, honestly.
mm.
Let's see here. Prehistoric Toys, welcome. Hello, I just got back watching Jurassic World Rebirth and have a question as well. Is it possible that Bandai will ever touch the other MonsterVerse titans? I've talked about that with them in the past. I'll give you an example. The Mutos, back when 2014 Godzilla was released, they didn't even bother touching the Mutos because they were unsure if Japanese audience would accept them at all. So they didn't want to take that gamble. They didn't even touch it. And as the years have gone on, they were hesitant to do it in 2019 Godzilla as well with those original designs. And now we get to fast forward to GXK. They finally do it. We get original designs manufactured into figures. Now, they were also met with backlash because they are not accurate to the movie. They don't use a CGI model, right? So there's that backlash to consider. As far as those other designs, I don't think they're much of a priority because you have to remember that, and this is just me speculating, this isn't confirmation. I just don't think that the original kaiju of the MonsterVerse films are as much as a priority as it is dipping back into the back catalog of Toho movies. So, because that's what these guys are based in. They're based in Japan. There isn't so much of a focus with the Western stuff. So when they do the Western stuff, it's just kind of focusing on the mains. So that's just what we can probably continue to expect. Gojira's Goated says, Tass and Rob, are you guys excited for GXK Supernova to come out in 2027? Man, I wish it was coming out in 2026, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
How about you, Rob? You looking forward to it? Yeah.
Not at all, actually, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Tell her
very
how it is, bro.
excited. I am very excited. I'm very curious what they're going to do, and I can't wait for the toys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's see here. We've got Godzilla 2001 Monsters, All Out Attacks, King Ghidorah would be awesome to get. Yeah.
Agree.
It would be dope. Kyle would love that.
Would be. Oh, he would.
Very random comment, but if Monster Arts made a small line specifically for smaller kaiju, Showa -1, so they could scale accurately to normal line, I think, would it be sick? I don't know. I think people already have a problem with the smaller figures already as it is. I think people want cohesiveness, even though they're technically shorter in the movies compared to later movies. I think people just want 6-inch figures. I don't think that they want smaller figures. There's other lines that offer smaller stuff too, like Gashapon, right? And then the Bandai Spirits, Hyper Spirits line or whatever it's called. Those are even like, what, 4.5, 5-inch scale figure models. They're not articulated, but I think that there's other... What I'm trying to say is that there's other brands, other lines that cover that category, even if they aren't hyper articulated. Basically taking all, yeah, exactly. I don't think they'll do that though. Yeah, it's a good thought. I don't think they would do that though. We've talked even about Monster Art Zero. At one point they were considering it, but they decided not to do it.
Bummer.
That's the Monster Zero arts, yeah. So statues of monsters in pre-posed form. Yo, it's, yeah, he's here. A S.H.MonsterArts figure I want is Gamera Kyoto 19. It's a good figure. Definitely pick it up. It's better than the original release. You know what will be awesome if they made Godzilla 55 and Anger's 55? Yeah, that would be.
Give it a
2-pack, man. Why not?
Good God. How much would that cost, Michael?
Let's see here. Oh, probably easy over $200. If Anger's is $140 and your standard Godzilla for new molds goes over $100 these days, easily over $200, maybe $250.
I was gonna say like
it'd be a premium Bandai Web exclusive for $250. Absolutely, I could see it going that way. A Showa Godzilla I'd really like to see is Raids Again Godzilla. I know that it's an odd and kind of unpopular pick, but I'd really enjoy having another black and white Godzilla join the line. I would be interested in getting a Yuji Sakai version of that character because it wouldn't look 100% like the movie. He would bring in a sense of realism to it, and I think it would look better. Kind of like what he did with the recent 72 King Ghidorah. The suit is so flat, and there's no muscle definition, hardly any muscle definition into it. But he gives it back to it in the figure, so I like that. Gojira Goated, he says, I watched Jurassic World Rebirth on July 3rd. Hey, awesome. I just watched it yesterday, actually, for the 4th of July. I just remembered. That was the last thing I did. 72, right? That goes to show you what I think about it, right? Oh, yeah, I did watch it. 72 sold out really quick from everything I saw. So I don't see a reason that they wouldn't do more designs then. Yeah, 72 Godzilla sold really well, both in Japan and the United States. They didn't last long either side. It was a general release. I think it might get reissued in the future. I would rather see it be reissued in the movie graphic plus line instead of taking the regular Monster Art slot, though.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'll be 20 Supernova comes out. Hey, cool, man. Awesome.
I won't.
Oh my god, are we almost caught up with the chat? I think we're almost caught up with the chat.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that excited for Supernova since it risks Kong taking too much screen time again. Plus, they didn't give enough info yet. I mean, it's too soon to tell, right? It's way too soon to tell.
For the time being.
Let's give it some time. Before we start worrying about that. Let's see what happens. I also got the T-Rex bucket from Cinemark when I went to Jurassic World Rebirth. I thought that bucket looked cool, but when I saw that it didn't open up from the mouth, I was just like, aw. Because the Jaws
missed
bucket did. But this one opened up from the backside.
Yeah,
right?
That was weird. Huge missed opportunity.
Will you be buying multiple Legion figures? That would absolutely be an expensive sight to behold. It would be an expensive sight to behold, and I am not buying multiple Legions. I'm only getting one figure of that. I'm not buying multiples of that because it's not a Godzilla. It's not a Godzilla character. It's a Gamera character, and as far as Gamera goes, whatever. I'm not excited about Gamera characters. Especially, I'll put it this way: if King Ghidorah was listed at $500, I would pick up 4 King Ghidorahs, right? I would still pick it up for variance comparison, but Legion Gamera, nah, not my thing. Same thing with the Monster Hunter line, as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh line. I'm not picking up multiples of those either. Those will just be straight unboxings, and we'll look through them, but we're not doing variance comparisons of those. I'll be 15 when GXK Supernova comes out. Man, I'm gonna be freaking 40.
I'm gonna be 35.
Speaking of Rebirth, I am hoping to find that Spinosaurus plush still in theaters. Hey, hopefully I'll get there right. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for the T-Rex bucket, but it's still cool in my opinion. I mean, it looks good. It looks good.
It does.
I just wanted the mouth to open. That's all. I was trying to even figure that out, honestly. I was like, how would this work? You just open up its mouth and then they showed the backside. I was like, nah. Will other kaijus like Kiryu, Ghidorah be a part of the movie? No. The movie graphic pluses line is only Godzilla. There will be no villains or allies, at least for the time being. They're only going to do Godzilla. That's it.
That's fine.
You have to remember, it's aimed at the casual customer. The casual customer recognizes Godzilla 10 times more than they've recognized the enemies or the allies. Showa Godzilla with the magnet power. The power lines would be cool. Hey, 3-0 is going to have that when they eventually release it. They've got the power lines.
Whenever that happens.
Yeah, whenever that happens. It was supposed to come out earlier this year, but now it's been pushed, and it might get pushed again. We'll see. I'm going to talk to them when I get to Comic-Con and be like, what's going on? I still don't understand why there's been no 84. It's Heisei. It's not, though. It's not Heisei.
84 is technically a Showa era film.
It's a Showa film that it's very interesting when you talk to the folks in Toho and stuff like that. When they talk about the VS series, they don't lump the Return of Godzilla in it. It starts with Biollante and then it goes through 95. Even though Biollante is a sequel to 84, they don't put it together. And seems to be reflected in the toy line too. I mean, back when the Monster Arts was first established, I was talking to Bluefin back in the day, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, so Return of Godzilla is going to be the first Heisei," and they're like, "No, that's a Showa figure. We're not doing Showa right now." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It was released in the Showa movie, right?" So yeah,
Yeah. Because I
but
think
yeah,
Biolante was the first Godzilla movie to actually be released in the actual Heisei era.
it was, yeah. And
Uh,
like I said, like even beyond, if you take the eras out of it, they consider it the VS series in Japan. That's what they call it, the VS series. And Godzilla
hmm.
1984 is not lumped into that, believe it or not. It's crazy. Even though it's the first movie to kick it all off, it's excluded. Is it possible we see Godzilla 98 in the new Monster Arts line? They know about it. I talked to them last year, and they are very well aware that the Western fan base really wants a 98 Godzilla figure. So we'll just have to see what happens. It hasn't been put, I'll put it this way, they have not added the 98 Godzilla on their product surveys in Japan. They did have it here at Comic-Con last year. It was on the survey that attendees could take, but they have not added it to the Japanese surveys just yet. So I think we're still a ways away from that happening. But they are aware that the Western feedback, they want it. So, but they got to mesh. It's Japan first, Western stuff second.
Hmm.
54. 98. Who's going to win, Rob? 98 or 54?
Well, 54 is technically insane, so probably 54.
Yeah. Yeah, 54. Absolutely. Does that mean 2000 is considered a Heisei era movie?
Yep.
So, I mean, it is. Even all the way to Shin Godzilla, it's a Heisei era movie, right? It's just not.
Mm.
You have to look at it different. The important thing is you have to look at it as series, right? So the Heisei series is the Heisei era movies are the VS series, is what they consider that, right? And then the
Mm.
Millennium stuff, it's a different approach of filmmaking where it kind of, even though the fans call it Millennium era, they're still Heisei movies, right? But they're not part of the
Mm-hmm.
VS series. They're standalones. And then they consider it's interesting because Toho says it's like Shin Godzilla is kind of the beginning of the Reiwa era, even though it's not an actual Reiwa era movie. It's just that they've decided to change the direction of Godzilla, and that's kind of how they define it that way.
Wishy-washy.
Yeah. Sometimes Toho, I think they just make up their own rules, right? They're
Well,
just like,
they
this is
absolutely
fine. And then
do.
and then you're just like, really? That doesn't make sense? Or head scratcher moment? I don't know. Is the
Ugh.
Movie Graphic Plus line separate in the schedule for their figures this year? We got figure almost every month this year. Could be double dip. They are. I'm going to get this clarified, but from what I talked about, it sounds like they are separate from the normal releases, because the idea is that they're going to be made more available in stores versus things like premium Bandai exclusives. So Godzilla is goated. I hope Haya and Monster Arts make Zilla or Zilla Jr. I don't think Zilla Jr. is going to come out of any kind of toy line that does collectibles anytime soon. I think that is so niche compared to, like, if we're talking about foreign companies making it, it's very niche to do the animated series, right?
Mm.
But like for the main Godzilla, yeah, those are possibilities. But when we're talking about a cartoon getting an articulated figure from a Japanese company or a Chinese company, maybe a color deco, but not an actual figure.
Yeah,
I think
for
that's
sure.
pretty out there. Because then you have to also, because what people don't realize, you have to also get the rights from that cartoon series and who's behind all that too. It's separate from the movie, which is not impossible, but it's just more work to do. And would that be even a big hit on the foreign market, right? It'd be a hit here in the United States, but would that be a hit if a foreign company is making it? Is it going to be hit in their territories for an animated series that potentially maybe didn't even air over there?
Mm.
What will the next Monstars reveal regarding Godzilla's? Man, I can't tell you that. Bluebirds, welcome to the stream, but I can't tell you upcoming stuff like that. That is secret stuff. Highly classified.
It's SpongeBob. He told me.
No, Rob, stop! Okay. 1 second, guys.
S.H. MonsterArts SpongeBob. Oh man, nightmare fuel.
Will we get Megalon 1973 Monster Arts line? We'll see. It's definitely a possibility, right?
I hope so.
You know what will be cool? Figure pack Godzilla Manila will be released on Father's Day. That would be cool. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if they do Father's Day in Japan though. Makes no sense. Otherwise, everything from Bio to Shin should be Heisei era. Yeah. Yeah. Just you got to look at it beyond the eras though. That's the thing. Double Dip Yeehaw. It's like if Iron Man wasn't in the MCU and the actual start of the MCU was Iron Man 2. I mean, but it's also the United States property versus a Japanese property, so they're going to do what they're going to do and say what they want to say about it, right? Their own rules and whatnot.
Yeah, we have no control.
Yeah, we got no control over that. What about Zilla from 2004? I mean, yeah, they Toho can do whatever they want with that figure, right? Or that character. They own it. No licensing for Sony or any other kind of thing. They just own that. Not the tuna breath. SpongeBob told Rob the secrets, and Monster Arts SpongeBob would be cool and funny.
It'd be horrifying.
Evolved King. Yeah. How long do you think it would take for an anime trilogy Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla join? Man, I don't even know. I've lost all hope on those characters being released in the line.
I don't even think it's a sense of how long do you think it would take. I think that's a bottomless pit kind of a question because when those movies didn't perform well, you could actually see it. Like from Planet of Monsters to then City on the Edge of Battle, merchandising was cut like by 70%. And then by the time we got to Planet Eater, there was like maybe 2 or 3 things. And that was it. So much as it breaks my heart because I'd love anime Mechagodzilla and Void Ghidorah, whatever they called him. I would love to see them all ball jointed up. It'd be so sick, but oh man. Woof.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm just going to go through these questions really quick, guys, because it's getting close to 10 o'clock my time, almost like, 1 o'clock your time, Rob?
Yeah, I'm at 12:58, so which is fine.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up here. I got some other stuff to do. This was a fun stream, but let me wrap up these questions really quick. I like to pronounce Godzilla Rodrilla. If Kaiser Ghidorah has got to monster... if Kaiser Ghidorah is coming in this day and age, it definitely expect a $450 figure at this point.
Yep.
It's just the tariff situation and everything. It's making it so much more expensive to get these guys. Not a question, but I hope life is going great for you guys outside YouTube stuff. Yeah, it is. So far, so good.
Yeah, thank you, Noah.
Shin Bob Goji Pan. Oh, no.
No. Somebody's going to fan art that at some point in time. Don't let that exist.
Squid Dora. Oh, my God. Stop.
Instead of the bells and the chiming when he fucking flies, it's gonna be.
Oh, you made me snort.
Can you imagine seeing that thing in the fucking air and all you hear is?
Oh my God. Just. You guys broke Rob. Good job, chat. Good job. You broke the Rob. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to the rest of these questions. It is 10 o'clock. We got to wrap it up right now. So let me just wrap it up by saying thank you so much to everybody who attended and watched the whole stream and just stuck around for the Q&A. It's always fun for the Q&A and just chatting it up after we do this. So I hope you had a good look at the Mechagodzilla 2021 Final Battle Edition. Look forward to my variance comparison. If you are curious, I am getting rid of 2 of these. One of them has already been claimed. There's 2 left to get rid of. So if anybody wants them, hit me up via DM either on Instagram, X, or Facebook Messenger on the Articulation series pages. It's first come, first serve, though. I would say wait until after I post, but people have jumped the gun and just said, yo, I want it, doesn't matter. So if you don't want to wait, hit me up right away. But other than that, that is pretty much it for the stream. We're going to go ahead and play our outro. How's that sound, Rob?
That sounds
Let's do that.
lovely. Yeah.
All right. So that is it, everybody. Again, thank you for coming out to the stream. Thank you, Rob, so much for joining me and going over this awesome figure.
Thank you for
We had a
having
good
me.
time tonight. And until
We
then,
did.
I'll see you guys later.